Hi there. I guess I should change this, right? Since it's not at fucking nighttime. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the den. I am your host, Ed Honcho. I have a special day den today because, again, as y'all know, I have a second channel or actually, it was my first channel. I guess you say the den is my second channel. I talk sports and things of that nature, and it's primarily based around the Texans, Houston sports, since the Texans have a Thursday night football game, and I do a pre and post game show there. Even if you're not a Texans fan, you're welcome to come and wallow in our misery. You know, if you like that kind of thing, come feel free to be a part of that. So that's going to actually run into the time after the game of the den. So instead of just skipping the den as a whole, we'll have a fucking post game. So we'll have a pre-den or day-den, whatever. Look, I'm a little slightly under the weather. Maybe I shouldn't have been running in the rain so much. That might be a thing. I don't know. Or when it's, I don't know. Who cares? Anyway, so I am your host, Ed Honcho. Like I said, make sure you're following on the proper social medias, Twitter, Ed Honcho HTX, Ed Honcho HTX on the gram. If you want to like the Facebook page, let me just get that. Let me just get it right there. Den Show Live on Facebook. Links in the description below for any of the platforms if you want to follow, support the channel, anything like that. All those links are down below. And then, like I said, so we're going to get in today, and I'm mad because I didn't do my fucking tags. That's a problem. We'll fix that. We'll do double duty. So pardon me if I'm in the background doing some weird shit as we get this thing going. But today, like I said, I want to talk about is there a black media agenda? What I mean by that is, you know, when it comes to different things, even on the tube, you know, somebody promote diversity and promote, you know, change and all this other weird shit. But within that diversity, and that's why I say it's questionable. It's like that diversity is only allowed to think one way. When it comes to black media, black entertainment, whatever it may be, it's like everything is the same. When you want black entertainers speaking, you know, maybe out of character, like in on everyday issues, it's like they all think exactly the same. Or if they don't, and they seem to get ostracized. They seem to get limited opportunities to do things. And I was like, I wonder why that is. This is just, do all black people just think the same? Is this a Hollywood thing? Is it an entertainment thing? 'Cause you can talk about music too. It's not all just Hollywood, but there's a few factors that I think are at play, and I want to discuss that today. But before we get into that, let's see who we have joining us this afternoon, maybe morning where you are, whatever it may be. So, as I'm clicking on stuff, and I don't even remember what I'm supposed to be clicking on, I'm going to click on this and that and that and this. Let's see who we have joining us today. I got to get used to saying that. I still ain't changing the things. I see Kay Grace. How are you doing this? That should be afternoon for you. How are you doing this afternoon, Miss Grace? DeMarkey, shut up. Rashida, how are you doing this afternoon? Infinity Pimp, what's the motherfucking deal? Cultured, what's the motherfucking deal? Oh man, if I could have told you that Harry was going to be a trash factory, it started off on the wrong foot. D the Gamma, what's the motherfucking deal? Ronald Isaac, don't think because you're coming in here all polite that you're gonna get some early bird pistachios. You were late. Dakota, what's the motherfucking deal? 335 in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? Rob Myers, what's the motherfucking? I ain't seen Rob in a minute, man. Good to see you, Rob. Bad Bougie, what's the motherfucking deal? Typical Black Eroticism, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Cito, what's the motherfucking deal? Make sure if I miss you, I ain't dish you. You know, like I said, there's just some things that are going on. And so what I'm saying is that, especially in this climate, right, where the political conversation is prevalent, where it is everywhere. I mean, it's in everything. Every conversation that you have, wink, what's the motherfucking deal? Every conversation that you're having somehow, some way turns political, right? And so that's why I say, everybody's talking about actors. It doesn't matter if they're entertainers, music. They could be in Broadway or whatever. Everybody's famous nowadays. It could be, like I say, YouTubers. And it's really had me thinking about this. It's kind of a stray off of something that Broderick suggested. So I want to make sure I give B for real his credit because he was talking about the black gatekeepers. And I think that's a bit of a different conversation. But it had me thinking about this, and it's something I saw that if you have a YouTube channel, you see they send you a little notification when you're in your dashboard and stuff like that. And it was a chick, and she was kind of, let me be careful what I say, because she's like the chick that's in control of deleting stuff. She's gonna be deleted this whole video, but she's unique looking. Let's say that, right? And certain groups of people tend to have very unique looks, and so you can say, well, Honcho, you can't talk. You're very stereotypical looking. You could be. You could be right. But I think even though I may look uh, stereotypical, I think my thoughts are a little bit different than the norm. But anyway, so it's always funny when it's diversity, when it's change. It seems like to be, in my opinion, I think it's like a fringe group of black people who are that quote unquote diversity and that change. Or with, like I said earlier, with that diversity, it's the same line of thinking. You don't see people promoting guys like Larry Elder. You don't see guys, excuse me, like what's the other guy? What's the guy? The Jesse Lee Peterson. And I'm not saying these guys are personal favorites or anything like that. We can talk about Tommy. I know every black woman in this chat, their skin starts to crawl when you talk about Tommy Sotomayor or guys like that. Because that's not in line. That line of thinking is not in line with the diversity that they want. And that's just like on YouTube. But then I try to think of Hollywood. I try to think of entertainment. A few years back, Katrina comes through. Everybody loved Kanye. He said, the president doesn't like black people. Everybody loved him. He was a hero. He's real. He's the livest ever. Now Kanye says, hey, I want to get my life right. I want to do the right things. I want to be focused on family. I want to praise God. I want to sing this ministry. I'm okay with the president. I want to, bring jobs. Well, so now Kanye's sold out. He's not thinking in line with everybody else. Can't think of too many other rappers. I know Steve Harvey met with Trump. We're thinking entertainers. It's not just about Trump, period. It's just, like I say, it's a certain mentality that goes with a lot of this stuff. And a lot of it is around the victim mentality. And I think that's what it primarily boils down to. And so, Steve Harvey got canceled. We're canceling Steve Harvey. It was so funny is that, a lot of people got upset with Steve Harvey, I think over the Monique situation or whatever. No, a lot of more people got upset with Steve Harvey because he said, rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. And when you tell people to get out of their comfort zone, boy, they don't like that. Like, people get mad, but it's fucking true. And this comes from a person, because I tell you, I study a lot of wealthy people. I study greats and what they do and how do they get there. Because you can't ask somebody who's never done it how the fuck to do it. But, those are the people who have the biggest opinions. And if you look at any of them, anybody who's had a success story, and again, it depends on how you take his words, and he didn't speak it the best way. Anybody who has come from nothing to become something didn't just get lucky, and that's the problem. It's like that discredits all the hard work that a lot of people put in. They bust their ass. They had a game plan, and they were dedicated to something. They gave their all to something. They made changes, again, stepping out of that comfort zone. A lot of people want to get rich. A lot of people want to be wealthy, but they expect it to come to them. They don't expect to go to the money. But it's not about that either. But what I'm saying is that it seems to be a prevalent mentality across the board. And this is even from people who are successful, though. And that's what bothers me. Like, they'll tell you they worked hard. But when it comes to, say, black culture or the black problems or whatever it is, again, like I said, it's always that same mentality. It's never, hey, you know, we got to tighten up here, we got to tighten up there. It's always, it's never your fault. You do nothing wrong. And there are situations where, like I said, we can talk about that one that still bothers me. Philando, I think that was the one who said that he had his license on him. The cops told him to get a wallet, they still shot him. There are incidents like that. That's not the only one. But the majority of a lot of these big incidents that happen that we get behind, you're talking about situations where they're questionable. Sometimes there's a weapon involved. Sometimes there's some other shit going on. And this is not to free the laws of any responsibility, but we got to think about human nature and some other things. But what I'm saying is that they sell you these messages, they sell you these agendas. Nobody preaches personal responsibility, even though that's the way they became successful, even though that's the way it worked for them. They tell you that something different. They give you this other message. And I wonder why. And I'm thinking, is it because they don't want you to be a part of, or they're discouraging you from being a part of a different way of thinking, or they being forced to think differently? So, I mean, think about anybody. You can talk about basketball players. Oh, they were lucky. They were given this God-given talent. Most of them, no. The ones who lasted are the ones who worked for it. Because there's a lot of them that were given God-given. There's a lot of them. You can go to any hood in the fucking country. See a lot of niggas that had God-given talent. They ain't never make shit of themselves. They couldn't even make the varsity team because these motherfuckers had bad attitudes, or they didn't go to college because they weren't dedicated to the craft. Nikki motherfucking Nicole, she got her from a nap early already. Okay, she in the mix. Just Sarah, what's the motherfucking deal? Professor Tripp, go back to sleep. You woke up too early. But all I'm saying is that in the media, it seems like there's one specific mindset. And if you deviate from that way of thinking, if we talk about personal accountability, personal responsibility, it's like and what I'm asking, I guess, is there an agenda? Is there somebody, we always talk about there's somebody behind the scene with their thumb on the button, ready to end your career. Or this alternative thought is it black people? Is it that niggas just don't want to hear that shit? And that's the primary problem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it'll be in about 15 minutes. I'll open the line. And so that's the thing. That's the issue, because niggas don't want to hear anything about, hey man, look, it's not easy, right? Or we talk about different stories that could get perpetuated. Everybody knows MLK, everybody knows Rosa Parks. Most people are familiar with Malcolm X. But all these people did, for the most part, and I won't say all they did because they were each had their place in black history and civil rights. But you never hear the stories of greatness. Like we never talk about historically like the blacks that were great. But you get a 1,000 fucking Harriet Tubman films. You get 1,000,000 Roots films. You get a slave film every fucking year, right? But nobody tells you, or you can go and we love to talk about Black Wall Street. Well, see, when we were successful, they went and they blew up Black Wall Street. Man, 10 years later, them dudes, they bounced back and were just as productive, just as successful. Why? Because they didn't give up. And a lot of people give up and have never tried shit, especially when it comes to black folks, and that's the problem, man. I think it's a bit of both, and this is what I want to say is that I think that the media has a heavy hand in it because, let's be honest, man, black people are easily influenced by the media. It's easier for them to take it from a movie than they will before they get into a book. You know what I'm saying? Pursuit of Happiness. Great movie. It's one movie out of how many slave movies can you name? You know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, there have been lots of black titans of industry throughout here. I mean, we're talking immediately after slavery ended. We're talking about who were literal slaves went on to become millionaires, but you never hear those stories. But the thing is, you also have to say, well, whose job is it to tell those stories? Is it my job? Is it the media? If you don't control the media, who they're not going to push it. Because again, it's more money having people living in fear. That's why the news is the way it is. There's more people. There's more money in keeping people, upset and oppressed. And I talk about even some of these people who are on YouTube who, like let's be real. We talk about oppression porn, and a lot of black folks gravitate towards that shit because it's easier to talk about a problem than to execute a solution. And I told you that's the reason why I like a lot of that pro-black shit. I stopped fucking with it. A lot of this shit because it's like I want some fucking solutions, man. I'm tired of sitting here talking about, well, this is happening and this is happening. It's been happening for decades. It's been happening for a long time. We keep doing the same shit, which is nothing. You keep rooting for the same team who's doing nothing for you. And I'm not telling you, like I said, I don't necessarily want to get into politics. We talk about that often here. But I'm just saying, what is it that is guiding us in this direction? Why aren't, as proud of people as we are, why don't we make these things? I mean, we'll make a fucking Paid in Full. Think about how many hood movies that niggas are behind, so we can't sit there and say, like, oh, well, niggas don't get to make movies. How many hood movies niggas put out? How many fucking times we didn't glorify drug kingpins? You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. I mean, shit, like I told you, Belly used to be one of my favorite movies. We can talk about Paid in Full, like I said. We can talk about Boys in the Hood. You can talk about Colors. You can talk about fucking Menace to Society. Everybody knows all this shit. These are classics in the black community. Scarface is a black classic. There wasn't nobody black in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? And so then you sit here and you wonder, and that's why I say, is it the media or is this what niggas want? Because you've had plenty of people who have opportunities to make these movies about, the successful people. But why? Why? But there's better kingpin stories. Those are trash kingpin stories. Risk your life, sell drugs, and do that. Or a more sustainable format, which there have been thousands. But nobody tells that story because the story requires hard work. It's not a come up, it's not a lick. It's a building a foundation and working hard for it. There's thousands of these stories. I mean, shit, there's a lot of them in our own modern times. We talked about the little kid. It's a little girl who sells water. She's got her water put in Walmart. It's a little girl that's out there, I think like 11, selling lemonade. It's a little boy with a 6-figure bow tie business. And yeah, they're not multi-millionaire. He's fucking, 6, 7 years old? Like, come on, man. And so these are stories. And again, yes, they haven't lived a whole life legacy. But we perpetuate this shit. What's the likelihood of a nigga really coming up from selling dope? Are there more drug kingpins or more fucking front runners? You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing. It's like, shit, I get it. But there's a lot of quality underdog stories. Underdog stories where people have actually put people on sustainably. You know what I'm saying? And given people careers. And made millions. There are lots of black millionaires who have done it legitimately with no dope, no bullshit, no fucking cover operations or anything like that. Just busting their ass, man. But again, there's that term that people don't necessarily like, which is pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. There's a story, and I keep forgetting his name, and I think he passed recently. He was a guy in Detroit, and he talked about how he started. He was a janitor in fucking the University of Michigan, a fucking janitor. And he bust his ass. He said everything was about being timely. And he took certain little opportunities. He didn't let, certain issues impact the way he thought about things. And then he went from being a janitor, I believe, at the University of Michigan to working with, I want to say it was with Ford. And he was doing some stuff there, and then he built a business. He turned his janitorial. He basically took control of his shit instead of just work for somebody. He became a company, and he did a bunch of work. And then people saw how diligent he was. They asked him to do some different type of projects, and he was so efficient with that. Like, it turned into a whole different thing. Became I want to say he had a couple of $100 million before he died. I cannot remember his name for shit, but But my thing is though, you have a choice to accept the dope game or not. You have a choice. Like, here's the thing: we're not. But see, that's the thing. Like, I can't justify that by saying, look, well, it's getting forced on us. I made that choice. I had opportunities. I made a choice. Everybody has a choice, you know. But the thing is, it's easy to push these other things and remove the accountability. You can struggle, if you say, well, it's hard, it's tough. Yeah, you can struggle. Or I had to make money to. That's a whole other story. The making money, take care of families, and all other stuff. But anyway, if you're not prepared to have a family, don't have kids. Get yourself in a better position. The dope game is what it is, but you got the education game. But we don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the problem. Like it's easier because we want the quick, fast, instant gratification situation, as opposed to the long-term sustainability, and that's the issue. So all I'm saying is, who is behind this? Because think about it. Like I said, we can talk about the media. Yeah, there's some independent rappers who are coming up and they're not talking about slanging dope. They're doing some. Who is this Larry June? This is a Larry June guy I've been hearing a lot about. I guess I got to check out the music because he talks about some stuff differently, but he ain't about no dope and shit. But he talks about making money and doing shit legitimately. There's a lot of people I follow on Twitter. Some of them niggas former gangsters, some with former fellas, they're 6-7 figure motherfuckers because they start getting into business, getting into real estate, learning some different things. It's there. It's all there. But let's be realistic. The dope game is the lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is, because you get that little hood fame. But what the fuck is hood fame worth, But like I said, I'm jumping all over the place. Let me straighten everything back up. But the opportunities are there. We live in an internet age where you can do anything. We live in an age where money talks, bullshit walks. And if people, like I said, fresh out of slavery could become millionaires, and we're talking about actual millionaires, when the money wasn't as easily accessible as it is now, wasn't as devalued as it is now. That's the conversation we need to have. Like, I might be wrong. Maybe there is. But has there ever been a movie made, like a major motion picture made of Madam C.J. Walker? That should have been the first one. The first one that should have been done. Look, Harriet is cool and all. Even though they was talking about, I saw that shit talking about they were going to have Julia Roberts. That they were going to have Julia Roberts play Harriet. That would have been pure comedy. I wish they would have done it. I wish they would have done it. Just fuck it, why not? I'm not even gonna watch that crazy shit anyway. It's fucking bullshit. But now you gonna have motherfuckers really out there thinking there's a bigger law. So I gotta get shot on my way to Dallas now for a test for blame. Oh, already, man. Hey, come on. Jerry, you finna get the black belt. They gonna throw an extra stripe on there for you, man. I already know, man. But all I'm saying is, Crass and Heartless, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Hentai Samurai, what's the motherfucking deal? But like I say, it's at a point now where it's just like now there is no excuse. But I say all this to say that you still have this group of people who are pushing that everything is oppression, everything is somebody holding you down, when in reality, the only thing in this day and age that is stopping you from anything is you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy shit. Because, I'm just thinking about this. How many people do you know that have found fame, say, excuse me, barking like a motherfucker, say from like when Vine was a thing? A lot of them little motherfuckers transformed little 6-second videos into careers, into movies. I already know you got something you'd have some good shit to say about that. But my thing is that there are opportunities if you're looking for the opportunity. If you're looking for the roadblocks, and you're definitely gonna see the roadblocks. The reason why you can't, why I can't, I can't do this and can't do that, because of every other excuse. Yeah. These guys are turning this shit into careers. No college needed. They took their skill. Come on, everybody knows a little funny nigga from the hood. Everybody knows somebody who's just funny. You should have said should have been a stand-up comedian. You know what I'm saying? But what did these guys do differently? They applied themselves. It wasn't easy. Everybody looks and says, "Oh, they just got on social media It was super easy. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, and that's what I say. But I think that, like I say, but that's part of it. Even with the rap music shit though too, is that people want the fame and notoriety, but then they end up getting in these deals and end up getting fucked over because they don't learn the business aspect of it, and that's part of it. Like, yeah, learn how to rap, do all the other stuff, whatever. But if you're gonna get into that game, learn the business side of it, and you can't complain once you get fucked over because there's rules to every single game that you play, no matter what if it's fucking Monopoly or fucking Tetris or whatever it is. If you don't learn the rules, if you're gonna step into an arena and don't know the rules, you in trouble. If you a fucking boxer and you're like, well, I see that MMA shit, but you don't know that you can get your ass kicked. You think you're gonna step into an MMA ring and you get fucking kicked in your goddamn head? Who you blame, the MMA fighter or the boxer? It's the fucking boxer for not knowing the fucking rules. You know what I'm saying? And so, let's test what's the motherfucking deal. Because that's the only way. That's the only way you're gonna win is if you bet on yourself. Period, point blank. A lot of people sell themselves short. Think about it. Think about it. The people who are doing the best right now, honestly, are independent rappers. Give me a second. I'm still here. I'm just cut this fucking fan. It's a little toasty in here for some reason. Independent rappers. They may not be getting the push from the big companies and shit. They're not getting the advertising budget, but at the same time, they're not having to pay back that advertising budget. The money they make is theirs. But then you got a lot of these artists. The reason they're touring so much, they're pushing everything so much, they're doing so much, is because, like they say, they sign these 360 deals where they have to give up money on their merch, they have to give up money on their tour dates, they have to give up money from their albums, and all of these things, and they're taking big L's. They're taking big L's. So yeah, they're famous. They're just as much as these motherfuckers. Remember, everybody used to rap, oh, I'm gonna get a deal, especially in the city. I'm trying to get a deal, or I'm trying to get a major deal. Not realizing that these deals are fucking you. Niggas in the city, H-Town was making more money independent than a lot of these motherfuckers who were going out and signing these. They signed $1 million deal. Well, shit. You come here, you sell, a couple of $100,000, or you sell you 50,000 at $7-8 a piece. Well, that's solid money, and then you're not having to pay that back. It sounds good. I spent $1 million on this video. Okay, but you had to pay that fucking $1 million back. You had to make that. You had to make that shit back and pay that shit back. So all I'm saying is, it's like, come on, man. It's a very different game. And I agree, man. But and I agree with the thing though too, that even with like the YouTube thing and the media thing too, but not to say, oh, every kid should do that. You got to know where your strength lies and where it doesn't. Like even me, I look at this YouTube thing, right? And I'll open up the line here in just a couple of minutes. I look at the YouTube thing. The lanes that I choose are not prominent, super successful, millions of people want to watch lanes. I have one channel talking about Houston sports. Houston, and this is why I say researching and knowing what you're talking about. But there's very deliberate reasons why I choose the things that I choose. Houston is what, the fourth largest city in America, on its way to becoming the third real soon, or metropolitan area. Houston's a small sports media market. It is what it is. I knew that before I started. Small sports media market. But I felt there needed to be a different level of representation in that. But the end game is not to sit there and think, I'm going to be a 1 million subscriber Houston sports YouTube. That is not the game. And that was never the game from the jump. But there is a long game. There is a point and a purpose that can be achieved using YouTube as a base foundation. That's all it is. It's never been about being a YouTuber. The Den started out a little different. Den was just a place to vent. It wasn't ever really, like I say, I'd get high and we talk crazy in this bitch. But as I took the weed out of my life and I started doing some other things differently and seeing, the Den has its place. Do I think the Den will ever be a 1 million subscriber type thing? No, not at all. The opinions in the Den, and the freedom of speech and the way that we just operate as a whole is too much for a lot of people. Because it's not that it's heavily conservative, because there are liberal people in there too. Everybody's opinions are welcome. But so many people nowadays are so sensitive, they can't even slightly tolerate hearing somebody with a difference of opinion. And the den is more about free speech. It's more about understanding. People don't want to understand. People don't want to listen. People don't want to hear shit. They just want to be able to be in an echo chamber of their thoughts only, and only make sure that they keep reiterating the stuff that they want to hear. So the den is difficult for a lot of people. And then the fact that just we talk real crazy in here. Some people are sensitive with the humor and they can't handle it. Like I say, we look for reasons to be upset. So shit that is jokes, a lot of people take personally. Well, it's not funny to me, and they get mad. Like, okay, well, this just may not be the venue for you. No hard feelings, or if you can take it, if you can learn to adjust to the culture, it is what it is. So, but like I say, but each of these things, and there is an end game for the den too. I don't want to say like I stopped doing it for this, but there is a goal. And there's a goal, like I say, for soft sports. But it's not that I would ever think that I'm going to be a big super YouTuber. So I think you have to be reasonable. Now, if those opportunities come, you take them and you run with it. But you have to be reasonable about these things, too. But it's not just about being YouTubers. But like I said earlier, that it's funny that the creators that YouTube pushes, when we talk about the agenda, are generally either feminist, gay, or, LGBT agenda, or... Like my biggest thing with what I'm talking about with the black agenda, is there an agenda? Why, and like I said, I talked all this time not to even say that, but what happened to, why is there no black masculinity being pushed in the black agenda in society? With everything else being everything else, with all the other opportunities, and we could talk about, like I say, just the oppression of black people, but where is black masculinity? Where, that's my thing. And, yeah, it was organic. Exactly, Professor Trio. Yeah, man. But this is what I'm saying. Like, honestly, there's a few things. Like I'm telling you, and I'm sitting here telling you with the YouTube thing. Though, if I wanted to be a complete shill and a complete just sell out to everything, there is money to be made on YouTube. There is absolutely money to be made on YouTube. Black femininity is everywhere. Everything is strong black woman. Everything is pushing black women. It's there. We got shows pushing the black man out the house. It's just about single moms and things of this nature. Like, there are no black family shows, and if there is a black family show, the dad is dumb. Mom is always the smart one, having to handle all the situations. The man is just a worker and a provider. He doesn't bring anything else to the table. He wouldn't be able to tie his own shoe if it wasn't for the black woman. Black femininity. You can look at all the Tyler Perry movies. Who are your main characters? Who are they based around? You know what I'm saying? Who is the leading role in that? It's all black women. Who is it catered towards black women? Shit. Tyler Perry couldn't even dress up like an old man. He had to dress up like an old woman. That's black femininity right there. So again, the agenda is pushed to. It's all, like I said, it's either LGBT, you must be black plus LGBT, or you must be a black female feminist to do that. But what I'm saying, but my thing is, who loves that? Who's watching that though? But that's what I'm saying. But that still has nothing in it. What I'm saying is that it's black women who love that, but where are the black male roles? Where's the black masculine role? Period. The Rock got all of it. Any role that's slightly black and masculine, The Rock got it, right? We don't know what he is in any particular movie in which he is. You know what I'm saying? So again, I've never watched Blackish. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, I couldn't tell you. I've heard different things about it. Yeah, The Rock is like Samoan. I want to say he's Samoan and black, but I think he's pretty much Samoan. The Rock has all the movies coming out. Every month, The Rock has a movie coming out. So there's that. Excuse me. Pardon me. But like I say, come on, let's be realistic. Society is pushing towards everything is anti-male. Again, femininity. Look at the fucking Gillette commercial. That's your anti-male rhetoric right there. Men are bad. And who gets lopsided? Who gets
Just
lopped in?
Sarah donated $2 through Super Chat. The den is not for the easily offended. Person shrugging. Smiley face. Smiley face. Smiley face.
Appreciate the love, Just Sarah. But who gets lumped into that? Black men that are masculine. Like I say, if you I dilly and dally in various arenas sometimes just to get the pulse of
Dan
people.
Strong donated $5. If you're not a victim, an athlete, a trapper, or gay/trans, don't expect support from the modern black media.
I agree, Dan. Appreciate the love, Dan, the man. But yeah, and that's what it is right now. Like, and again, some of this women did to themselves, and I'll explain that in a minute. But you know, let's say, but here's the thing, though: are we given the avenues to create those things? Like I say, but most niggas is we just talked about that earlier. Most niggas is creating hood movies and shit like that. Again, niggas who think different. Let's be honest. Most of your average, like your successful black men who did not take the rapping route, did not take the dope selling route or anything like that, they tend to lean more moderate or conservative, right? Most of those men who are like that are not in the entertainment industry. You know what I'm saying? You watch the Den in class. Tell everybody to watch it. And so, that's funny. So tell your teacher put it on the big screen. You're gonna get fucking detention. Um, but like I said, those guys are not in the industry. Who is the type of person that gravitates towards the industry? And that's what you got to think about. Most of those men who are master, they're working either labor jobs or they may be in the office somewhere or whatever, but they don't look towards entertainment unless you rapping. You know, like I say, you doing some shit like that. Men aren't concerned with entertainment of that nature, and the ones who are generally are gay. And so think about old buddy, who's the dude got the biggest. We talked about that, the biggest hit on Broadway, Slave Play. It's a fucking the guy is a gay director. The only black dude in the play worth mentioning is gay, and he's getting violated by the slave master. So it's some old race play, homoerotic type weird shit going on. But this is huge. This is huge. Rihanna's promoting this shit. You know, Spike Lee. When the last time Spike Lee made a goddamn movie? You know, but everybody, like all the big entertainers, a lot of female entertainers promoting this movie. Oh, this movie was so good. I mean, this play was so good. It was so great. Everybody needs to go see it. Why? You know, well, we can, like I said, I don't even want to get in. We talked about that before. I really don't want to talk about that shit. Is a whole lot of shit wrong with that, and black people support that shit. It is what it is, from multiple aspects, not just that. Again, like I say, and then outside of that, you know, I lost my train of thought because it was another movie I was just trying to think about right after that, and I fucking forgot it. And I'm mad that I fucking forgot it. But again, it's just like the yeah, Lee Daniels. Thank you, Lee Daniels. He's not the most masculine guy, and we know what he puts out there, right? That's that ain't Cookie, ain't she a boss? I'm like I said, I haven't seen her, but I'm assuming she's a boss, right? So if she's running everything, isn't that black female empowerment? We've seen his movies. You know, he hates black people too, though. But black people support the shit out of everything he does, because this is why I say it. Some of it is the media, some of it's black people perpetuating their own downfall. But anyway, let me open up this line, man. Let's get some calls in. I need some fucking allergy medicine. That's what I need to go get. I'm fucking sneezing all day. I feel congested. I blame Ronald Isley. Give me one moment as I get this tooted and booted. But like I say, so that to me, it's multifaceted. But the way that you fix this, in my opinion, is we love this cancel culture, but we don't really want to cancel you as long as you're still entertaining us, right? You know, as long as we agree with most of the shit you do. I don't want to cancel anybody, whether you agree with me or not. I don't really give a shit about that. I don't want to make anybody unemployed. If I just don't fuck with your shit, I just don't fuck with your shit. Terrence Howard Hotel. Yeah, I seen him saying some stuff, but think about it, Goy. What's the motherfucking deal, Miss Goy? It's been a minute. But think about Think about fucking. That's why I'm saying we're gonna be live. I even said last night I'll probably do the one that Broderick suggested. But this is I still want to get on what you said, but a little bit differently. This is not fully the one that I want to talk about. This is part of this is more media, but I want to talk about specific people. We'll get to that too. But so my thing is this, right? And what I mean is that oh, let me cut the number on so y'all can call it. First, let me change this. Excuse me, I had to get up. Look, I'll be trying not to sneeze on camera. But like I said, you got the ones who are in power. Again, that's what I'm talking about. It's not masculine men. Who's checking for a Spike Lee movie really right now? Like, yeah, Spike had a. It's been a minute since I think Spike has put anything out, as far as I know. But yes, Ms. Goyer, and I appreciate you for that, and I thank you for that. And like I said, yeah, I'm gonna be I keep saying it, I'm gonna be dropping some Patreon specific shit. I done finally set up my little proper podcasting area, and so to have it a little bit more soundproof, so it'll be a little bit clearer. Because when I'm just doing audio, I want it to be a little bit cleaner. So again, it's terrible, toxic femininity. I despise you for saying that. But again, like I say, let's open up the line. Let's get some calls in. But again, like I say, how much of it is, as we open up the line, as we take some of these calls, I want to know how much of it do you believe is the media behind this? How much of this do you believe is black people perpetuating this? Is this what people really want? Is that why that people keep saying, hey, if you sell it, if people want it, you give them what they want. Again, we've talked about little things like Lupe, right? Lupe, great, underrated rapper. Ain't no niggas checking for Lupe Fiasco. It ain't no niggas. If anybody's listened to it, it's probably white, Hispanic, other races, probably a bunch of Asian people listening to Lupe Fiasco. Ain't no niggas listening to Lupe Fiasco. Shit don't do right. Why? You know what I'm saying? Lupe has some of the greatest wordplay in history. And I haven't even, the last thing I listened to from Lupe was Tetsuo and Youth. And that was the most underrated fucking album. I got you, because we might have, well, not tonight, because like I say, we doing sauce tonight. Maybe Saturday. Maybe we can follow up Saturday, because tomorrow night in the den we'll be doing Talking Dirty After Dark, and I think we'll have a very interesting conversation for Talking Dirty After Dark on Friday tomorrow. Something that I think everybody can relate to. Some of y'all gonna act like y'all don't at first, but I think it'll be a very interesting conversation. So, wow. Have you listened to the Tetsuo and Youth album, Crass and Heartless? And why I say this is because I can go back and listen to that. It's the one he started, and like, it's been several rappers that have used this beat. I think, because I think Jeezy used it with The Game on that beautiful song. And a couple other people have used this beat, but he goes for about 9 minutes on this first song, if I'm not mistaken. It's like I said, it's been a little bit since I've heard it, and I've listened to it probably 100 times, and every time I go back and listen, it's like it's a new angle, almost literally, because he talks about geometry and some other shit in there. It's like a new punchline. It's just like, wow, how did I catch it? How did I give it? It's, man, like, again, it's so interlaced. But again, I get it. People want that boom boom bap. You know what I'm saying? Listen, well, again, like I said, I don't know if I wouldn't even call Lupe necessarily conscious rap. I guess you could, but give that album a listen. Just give that album a listen. If you don't like it, I'll send you a Pizza Hut gift card. I don't even know if you like Pizza Hut. But like I was saying, though, it's like, I don't think people think Lupe. Nah, I don't like it. The mainstream stuff that gets put out, don't like it. The Cool was a great album. Food and Liquor, great album. Like, his albums, the stuff that he puts out in the media, I mean, in the mainstream, it's cool. It is what it is. You got to get that radio play. Dumb It Down. Dumb It Down was a solid song. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. With 855-948-0369, call in to the line. I want to know your thoughts, man. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I say. Like, it's just Lupe's underrated. Like, because you're not checking for him, and you're just like, he's that kick push guy, and that's what you think. I don't fucking ride skateboards. I don't fucking want to kick push. It's just like, man, Lupe is criminally underrated and unappreciated. But I agree with you on Tech Nine. I'm not a Tech Nine fan, but you know, you grind, you can get it. You can sustain a career. But like I said, a lot of people want that. They want that quick, fast money. They want that deal, and then when they get fucked over by it, they want to blame somebody. Well, this is what happened. Man, thank you, Prisoner 1 and 2, and man, Sam, you own it. That's what, man. Great song because he flips the script, and in that one he's talking about, you know.
Sam Fisher 170 donated dollar through Super Chat. Prisoner 1 and 2 Lupe fiasco, that's it. Listen to IT.
Yeah. He flips the angle from, you know, the actual prisoners in jail, and then he flips the song in the middle or in between, and then he talks about the guards also being prisoners in the jail. And it's just, man, it's like I say, it's the other one. Pizza Man don't come around here no more. And it's like you got to look at it like this, okay? Is this a warning? Is he telling you, like, is he telling Pizza Man, hey, Pizza Man, you better not come around here anymore? Is he telling you the Pizza Man doesn't come around here? Is he saying, you know, these are the consequences, these are the reasons why the Pizza Man doesn't come around here no more? It's like, again, you just have to, it's just like each of the songs, and then he has it set to almost like seasons. So each little group of songs is a season, but then it's a whole bunch of shit going on. Toxic. E40. I can't put E40 in my top 5. I like E40. Don't get me wrong. Sprinkle me, man. I like E40. I can't put E40 in my top 5. I like E40's music. Don't get me wrong. But I don't got him in my top 5. Like I said, I like his music. I like his style. I have nothing against him. I just don't have him in my top 5. 5 better rappers than 40. Face, Bun, and I'm showing you all of my bias here.
Coulter donated $1. Scared of the dark? Nope. Stupidest lyrics ever.
Yes, I'm still leaning H-Town very tough. But as far as H-Town, like I say, it's to me, I'm a Southern dude. I guess that's what it is. But like I say, Face and Bun is going to be on the list for me. The Pimp is always going to be on the list for me. Those 3, to me, hands down, because I listen to UGK more than I probably listen to anything else growing up. Let's say Scarface is just, to me, Scarface is one of the most underrated, underappreciated to have ever done it. But again, I'm being a hypocrite because we're sitting here talking about the stuff that blacks enjoy, they don't enjoy, what gets promoted, what doesn't get promoted. Let me pull up the number screen because my phone fell. You called in, I ain't got the thing on. And what we rock with and what we don't rock with. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, it's Rashida.
Hey, Miss Rashida, how are you doing today? I'm talking about evening. How you doing today, Miss Rashida?
I'm good. I hate to be first. I was waiting on this day to come.
Ms. Bell said she wasn't going to be able to make it today because of, I think she's going to be working, she's going to be handling some kind of business.
Okay. So make sure I get my early bird pistachios and my early caller pistachios.
No, I will not.
Well, I'm going to hang up.
No, I'm going to take some. I should account for that. No, I got you. I definitely got you.
Hey, Miss Grace, how you doing? Hey, Bloody, Tree, all that. Phil, Roman. And I thought Roman would have called. I saw him in here for a minute.
been in and out. He's the president now.
Hey, Cardi, how you doing?
Do you think that there's an agenda though when it comes to black media? Do you think that there are people who are perpetuating the message towards black people, or do you think this is just a message that black people want?
Oh, my fault, y'all. I had my hand over the where you talk it. No, I think what black men need to do is create the image that they want to see. You can't sit up there and wait on nobody else to create an image for you. When people put their money into something, they gonna create the image for you. Like Lee Daniels, he clearly pushed the gay agenda. If he's something gay, everything he do. And Tyler Perry,
He pushed the cross-dresser agenda.
exactly. So, and then you gotta put your money behind what you want to see,
Yeah.
and that's
But at the same time, when you think about these kind of things, though, and this is why I say, is it on the people or is it on, the industry? Because you can make stuff and it can bomb, just like what's that movie that just bombed? They was trying to blame him, Charlie's Angels, right? Charlie's Angels flopped. They put like
when it come back out. I didn't even know it came back.
exactly. Just came out, I think, like last weekend or so, I believe. They put $50 million in this movie. This shit made like just under $9 million, I believe. So what happens is the chick who made it, Elizabeth Banks, comes out and blames men. Well, it's men's fault that this movie failed because they're just pushing this same old narrative. I'm gonna be honest. If I'm going to see Charlie's Angels, it's because I want to see three very attractive, super aged women doing some shit. There were
Right.
a bunch of very studly looking women, which is not attractive to me. Hey, others may like that. It may be maybe the more of the lesbian crowd may like that. That may bring them in. So, would it be fair to say just as much as it bomb? I mean, women watch movies too, right? So, wouldn't it be just as fair to blame women for not enough women showing up to watch this movie as it would be for men who are not interested?
That's who I would have thought would have went to see it. Women. It's a support images of women doing things.
Okay. But yeah, so but that's kind of where it is. But at the same time,
Let's be realistic. Who all watched Charlie's Angels when it was on TV? I watched it every now and then, but it wasn't all that then.
yeah,
Definitely wouldn't pay. I wouldn't even pay $7 to see it.
damn, not the matinee.
Hell yeah, it had to be at the night show.
Get it out the Walmart bin with the two for DVD deal. But that's my thing. But what I'm saying though, but I'm using this as an example, and this is why I'm saying this is because, do you think that these movies aren't being made because they wouldn't be profitable? Because like this movie, they thought, we're just gonna reboot Charlie's Angels.
Taking old stuff that was popular and trying to remake it because they think that's gonna be a seller and that's what they get. It bombs.
But what I'm saying,
Instead of trying to create something new, they want to go fall back on old stuff.
yeah. But what I'm saying is, but when we're talking about the black movies that aren't being made, we're not telling the stories of, historically successful black people. Why do you think those movies? Do you think there's that they fear that it won't be enough money in that to make those movies?
Exactly. I mean, we say that we want to see these images and everything, but when they make it, we don't support it. So who's gonna be wasting money?
Yeah. That's where I wonder. Because I'm gonna be honest,
You can't say one thing. You can't say one thing and then support another thing with your dollars.
Y'all still on y'all top 5 list. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just, I mean, the trailer for the movie though, the trailer, it just looked terrible. Like, it was one of those you look at it just like, okay, that's hit or miss. And again, but when people have an agenda, when people have a certain mindset, like I say, you're trying to push the feminist the push on it.
Right.
You know, men ain't feminists. Like, so I can't relate to that. You can't be mad at me. Well, you can be mad at me if you want to, but it's not my fault. You're pushing something that I'm not interested in. Or maybe you thought it was a bigger crowd that was going to
Hmm.
support this film than it really was. So, you know, it is what it is.
Right. That's like an old TV show anyway. So
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know why they even took time to make something like that. I mean,
Because
it just seemed like a waste of
because they lack creativity, and you know she blamed it on well, it's because men don't want to see women be superheroes, even though Wonder Woman made a shit ton of
time.
money, Captain Marvel made a shit ton of money, all these other female superhero movies made a shit ton of movie.
I want to see another Matrix. That's what I want to
They're
see.
supposed
That's
to be
my
making
ultimate.
they're
That's
supposed to
what
be making another one, but I don't think I'm gonna watch it. Even though I'm a big fan of the Matrix, well, the Matrix one, the
you
other two Matrix.
better watch the
No, I'm not.
Matrix. I love it.
Look. Some things have changed, and I think that the Matrix will be an agenda pushing movie. The next Matrix is going to be an agenda pushing movie too. Um, and I agree with you, man. But I don't
Well,
watch.
I could do. You know what? I could do for another X Men movie. I love the X Men and Wolverine. I could do for another Wolverine movie.
Yeah, that Logan movie. Logan was good. Um,
Yeah, it was.
that was yeah, that was a live
Yeah,
movie.
this stuff like that, all this old 70s sitcom shit turned into movies is just ridiculous.
I'm just waiting for them to remake Roots. They're gonna do it. It's just give them a few months. They're gonna be the raid. They're gonna be the remade. I ain't get you these again. I ain't write you down. No, I'll take them from. I'll take them from DeMarkey and I'll give them to you. Um, But like, no, I agree with Bad Bougie. I don't watch slave movies, man, because again, like I say, to me, that's that oppression porn. That only well, you get mad when people tell you, oh, well, y'all was just slaves or this, and this, but then that's the only narrative you go to support. Like I say, you don't look for anything different. You continue to feed that to yourself, and you sit there and you watch people who look like you get beaten and whipped and tortured, and they make it very gruesome and grotesque because they know that it hits those emotional nerves. It makes you angry, and then you go out and you've scarred yourself, and then you're mad at other people for you scarring yourself, for you putting this pressure on yourself, and you putting this mentality on yourself because you want to relive some traumatic ass shit. Like, this shit is gonna be traumatic before you go into it, and then you watch the shit and you're like, oh, why did this happen? You knew what the fuck you were getting into. That's like if you jump into a fucking if you go into a gate with a pit bull in there that you don't know, this motherfucker barking and foaming at the mouth and shit, and then that motherfucker bites you, and you're surprised that you got bit. You're going into these situations looking for something traumatic and you're choosing to
Exactly.
watch them, and then it's traumatizing to you. It's upsetting to you. It leaves an emotional scar on you, and then now you're mad at it. So like, man, I don't watch that shit. That shit don't look. I got my own agenda. That shit don't fit my agenda. I'm not watching that stupid shit. I'm really not.
Yeah, I don't really like slave movies either.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. It just makes me upset. That's it.
Mm. You say, yeah, that's what I'm saying though, man. It's just like I don't get it. But why do you think that's such a popular
Have
thing?
you
Do you think it's black people that are really watch slavery, or do you think it's other people getting a kick out of it? Because some people I've heard people, it's not even black people that are watching slavery. When I personally think it is, but people are saying, oh, it's white people because they want to relive that. What do you think it is?
No, I think it's black people want to submit. I don't see why white people would really be interested in seeing stuff like that unless they racist and want to just see black people being beaten, tortured. So it's actually more white guilt behind slavery than we really think.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. I wouldn't be guilty of shit. I'll be honest. Like, I get it, but hey, I'll be honest. I didn't do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not. But look, I was here for this time period and this time frame, and that's all I can account for. Like, I'm a firm believer in accountability. I don't think that people should be trying to, well, let me give up everything I have, because there's people who are doing it. Like, did we ever talk about that subscription box? Basically, like a white guilt box, and people pay like
Mm-mm.
from like $20 to like $100 a month, and then this is ran by some black women, And they take the money and they only give it to black women's causes. So it's only causes ran by other black women. So they take the money and they keep a little bit for themselves, of course. But they make the people, they have like this list of shit they have to do. Go say hello to black people. Go volunteer at these black organizations. Again, all black female organizations. And this is why I say there's this agenda these days. And this actually brings up another topic. I'm going to save this for another day. But... and so, but they make pretty decent money, and it's just a little box of bullshit. They get like a little pin that they get to wear or something, and like I said, they spend between like $20 to $100 a month, and they get this shit every month, and they're given a list of things that they have to fucking do to help eradicate this perceived oppression or whatever's going on. So, you know.
And I agree with you, brother. There ain't really that many black good movies out there. If you think of your top, if you even think of your top 10 movies, you not gonna have that many black movies in there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a shame. But I mean, who are we expecting to create black history?
What would you
Really, it's a lot of things in here. Yeah, he's one of them.
But what would what are y'all over here talking about? Y'all talking about California top fives and shit over there. But here's the deal, though. Yeah, Rosewood, and that's cool. But then, like I said, but the funny thing is with Black Wall Street, though, we always stop it when it got burnt down. We don't ever talk about when it got rebuilt shortly thereafter. And that's what I'm saying. That's the mentality that we don't talk. We always talk about, oh, well, they ruined it. Okay, guess what? But that was something that they were so passionate about. They rebuilt that shit, and they were thriving just the same afterwards. And that's the part of the story that needs to be told that doesn't get told or that doesn't get focused on. And so that's what I'm saying, like the mentality around it is a problem. We like to get to the point where everything got fucked up, and then we like to stay stagnant on that. We don't talk about rebuilding, we don't talk about fixing, we don't talk about improving. And that's where I have my issues. You know, it is what it is, though. Well, everybody knows.
I see your point, though, like the agenda of keeping black people stuck in pain, you know what I'm saying, instead of focusing on other aspects of life. You know.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Is it the black people that want to be stuck in pain? Because it doesn't seem like, you know, we're not asking for anything else. These movies seem to be successful. Niggas still went and watched Harriet after everybody told them not to go see it. Everybody told them what was going on with the nonsense, but people still, and there's still a lot of people talking about it was a very good movie. I've seen a lot. That's what I'm talking about. These media members, some of these high profile people talking about it was a very good movie. Even though it was historically inaccurate, a lot of bullshit was going on in it. And again, you know, you make again we talk about the black masculinity as a bad thing. You made the black man the bad guy. He's didn't they say somebody he beats a black woman down with his hand, beats her to death with his hand. So we know what kind of traumatic thought process that creates.
Who would be threatened by black masculinity?
Everybody, apparently. Because remember, let's think about it. When black masculine, let's talk about
the people that would be threatened by it are the ones who had the agenda.
But it's a lot of women who are talking down on black masculine. What's that one we always talking about? We talked about a couple. Amanda Seals. You know, that little crew. It's a little crew of flunkies that are out there demonizing black masculinity. You know.
That's what we need it in the black community.
But again, it's black women who say that we don't. They look at us just as bad.
Why would they down something that's much needed?
Huh? But because
why would they down something that's much needed?
Because again, a lot of people, there's a lot of women who feel that, you know, the rise of feminism is more important than having black.
It's a stretch.
Now look, but here's what I'm saying. I could say a lot, but not say the majority. A lot can still be a significant number, but not necessarily be the majority. I don't think it's the majority of women, not at all. But I think there is a significant number of women who are more vocal. You know, they just say the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and they're starting to convince other women who may be downtrodden or having bad luck with certain relationships and other things like that, and they're convincing them that this is the reason why. This is why you're struggling. It's the black man's fault. They're just as bad as the white man. It's the patriarchy. It's men. Because when you see a lot of these things, a lot of these movies that get made about oppression, or a lot of people who gravitate towards these, I would feel I can't say for sure, but I feel like it's more black women. I think there's a double angle for black women. They're taking the black oppression role, and they're taking the female oppression role. So it's almost more relatable to them than maybe a black man. Black man might not see that way, and so I think that's the key demographic.
Isn't Derek Jackson the leader in telling black women about how bad black men are?
What'd you say?
He's a man.
Who did you say that?
I said, isn't Derek Jackson one of the leaders in telling black
No,
women
no,
how
no.
bad black men?
Look. Yeah,
And he's a black man.
that's y'all leader. We ain't got niggas ain't. But here's my thing though. Derek Jackson is, and I told y'all, I told y'all before, but some of y'all got mad at me when I was trying to tell y'all that Derek Jackson is a con man. Derek Jackson is,
That's how he makes his money.
exactly. He tells you everything you want to hear,
That's his agenda. That's his agenda.
Exactly.
If he tells you really with what's true, then he's not going to get that kind of money.
Exactly.
So that's the reason. That's the reason why people keep things going.
So again, that's his level of integrity. Like I say, he knows that's his angle. He knows that's how he gets rid. If I sit here and tell you, well, nothing is your fault, nothing is wrong with you, everything you do is perfect. Yeah, that makes you feel good. Eating a lot of fucking candy makes you feel good, but in the long run, it ain't doing you no favors. And that's the problem, though. But again, that's where it comes down to the people to realize, hey, this motherfucker's selling me some wolf tickets. I've been listening to this motherfucker and following his instructions for a year. I'm still in the same problems, or I'm not growing. I'm still the same person. He's the guy. He keeps you in your comfort zone, and people are okay. That's what people want more than anything.
It happens on both sides of the aisle now, because it happens with black men too.
Okay.
They get told, oh, the white man this, the white man that, keeping you down, making you go to jail, and all
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
So, but what can we really do about it?
You have to take the individual approach and be accountable for your own actions. Ultimately, I mean, I don't think there's a mass solution, because in reality the masses don't want to hear it.
Black women, but look, it is. I don't know.
Yeah, Black Dynamite is vastly underrated. That is a great movie. But I sell drugs in the black community. Or no, but I sell drugs in the community. Yeah. Black Dynamite is great. Broderick, I would agree. But see, this is the thing, and what Broderick said, because that's what I was just talking about earlier too. Say when it comes to black movies, though, like I say, I think we're victims of our own decisions, because niggas don't get creative. Niggas don't step outside. But it's like black movies are afraid to take a risk. We know what works. Gangster movies, dope movies. Let's talk about Frank Lucas. Let's talk about, again, like I say, niggas coming up selling dope in the hood. Let's talk about, some shit like that. That works. When it comes to the black women, let's talk about how you got scarred from a bad relationship, and the new nigga's gonna make your life better, and he's gonna fix all your problems, and you're gonna be happy after that. Let's talk about, and it seems to me Tyler Perry movies all had that same premise. But yeah, people still keep watching them. It's like, let's just talk about the same old stuff. It's never about, hey, let's get creative. Let's try something different.
But you know what? We don't really know what goes on in the background. We don't know if people that submitted scripts that's for black people and everything that don't get funded. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of small movies and things that don't make it to the big screen. We don't know what's really in there. So
yeah, I can agree with you about that. But I think even with some of the small, I mean, I can agree with you, because I'm not going to be able to see all the fucking movies. There's no way. But it just seems like, say, the majority, though, even when they do have black backing, even the black independent movies that get put out there, it's kind of the same thing. 'Cause come on, from all the shit, either it's something. Yeah, because either something super sexualized.
They're not going to put millions of dollars behind something they didn't think people going to support and go see.
But again, that goes out to the black mentality prior to the movie. It shouldn't even be about the movie. That's just telling you the black mindset prior to. Well, I'm not gonna watch this because it don't have sex, drugs, rap. It ain't no, this, that, or whatever. So again, I can't blame the people for putting the movies out to make money. It's a business. Ultimately, it's not an educational situation. You got to blame the people for that's what they want. That's what they're choosing, man. So it is what it is.
If that's what we want and that's what we choose, and then we can't fault nobody else but ourselves.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I remember Oprah had all kind of black shows on her network. Deion Sanders had a show.
Yeah.
Flex had a show. Now where they at? They was positive role models for black men. Deion Sanders was taking care of all his kids and doing good. And I used to actually watch that, and Flex taking care of his business and his family. It was nice to see black families together.
Which was
the ratings went down the drain.
Yeah, because I wonder how much of that has to do with niggas who can't relate to that because they don't have that family. Because let's be honest, man, we've had a lot of calls from a lot of people. We've talked about a lot of things, and people have talked about their family dynamic, and it's not like that. And so, do you think it could be levels of envy or jealousy? People that are envious of that because they don't have that.
Yeah, I think that's jealous and everything else, hating.
Man, god damn it, crass and heartless. That's what I was just about to say. I was about to say, that was you guys didn't appreciate Homeboys in Outer Space. I never said it was terrible. But I was just about to say that shit. But yeah, man. And so it is what it is. But again, like I say, the things that and this is what I wonder about, that I think how much of us are in the comfort zone. Because think about how excited everybody got about, a Black Little Mermaid. What's a story you already know? It's a story you're already comfortable with. We'll just replace the character with a black character. Now, niggas felt like they accomplished something. You didn't create a new intellectual property. You didn't do anything. You just changed the character. That's not changing shit for niggas at all. Now just some women gonna be wearing a lot more red wigs.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People that see the Cosby Show is real. With a doctor and a lawyer, but parents, for black parents. But they could relate to good times when you had them in the project struggling and everything.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Okay. What is the deal, Miss Rashida? I don't like to cut short. I talk to you all day. But I'm going to get a couple other little calls in here and get a couple other thoughts. But I appreciate you getting the line. Hey now. Hey. Like Fat Albert and them. Somebody said, man, why somebody said Bill Cosby was born in the wrong generation. He said, nowadays posed. How they said the hoes love to pop pills and get fucked or something they were saying. They was like, Bill Cosby, it ain't his fault. He was just in the wrong generation. I'm like, wow, motherfuckers is cold blooded. Yeah, Black Panther 2 coming out. You would have swore it was the return of Jesus. Like people was, Black Panther 2's coming out. Oh my God. I think honestly, most people who saw Black Panther that were black, that was just their first Marvel movie. Like I really feel like that's what it was, just their first Marvel movie, and they were just excited by everything.
That is there when they wanted to see something. That movie made $1 billion. Come on now.
Yeah.
Y'all could have put that into other black movies.
Yeah. But like I say,
black people at the end of the day, black people full of shit. They want people to put out images. They don't want to put the money behind it. Always waiting on somebody else to do something. You got to do the shit yourself if you want it done. Yeah. And then you can't get mad at the image other people put out there, because you can put the image that you want out there yourself. And that's all. That's how I'm going to end my call.
Already. Well, Miss Rashid, like I said, I appreciate you getting the party started this afternoon, and thank you for calling.
But don't forget to put my extra on that for calling in first.
Let me see what my mustachio account looking like, and see what I can do. See what we can do over there.
Yeah, don't make me have to pull up on you now.
I don't want no problems. I got you right now. Look, I don't want no problems. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no issues. So I'm putting it in there right now.
That's right. I ain't too much pistachios that you in a minute.
That little vibe right there. There you go, right there. Uh, but I appreciate it, Miss Rashida.
Okay, you take care.
No, you too.
Bye bye.
Bye. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know. That's the thing. If you are on hold or anything, you might have to. I don't know. Sometimes it does that. You might have to hang up and call back. But um, take it out for the Jordan fan club and see. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we have calling into the den this afternoon? Goddamn. I'm so used to nighttime.
Yeah, I know you used to saying evening for the night then, but this your boy Man Up, man.
Man up, what's on your mind this afternoon, man up? How you doing?
Man, you know what? You kind of struck a chord when you said talking about the black movies and stuff, because I was having a conversation at work last night about, you know, black music and stuff, because, you know, I'm listening to my music and shit, right? And somebody, a coworker of mine walked up to me and asked me, he said, how come you never use the N-word? I said, why should I? And the thing is this here, I told him, I said, he that studies music all the time, and then in the movies with black movies, and that's the first word you like to say a lot. And I kind of said the same thing. If you take that out, it's like you can have a decent conversation with people without using the N-word all the damn time, right? I said, this is just my opinion. I said, I'm not hating on people that actually use it, because I know there are people that like to use it all the damn time, and that's their business. It is what it is. But he was asking me why I don't. And I told him, I said, to me, I think it's an oppression of things, you know what I'm saying? We say it all the damn time. I said, there's a different way of going about things. And then I started talking about how the difference in music, you know, how we can use music differently. And I said, you just listen to a lot of, like, J. Cole. Yes, he do use the N-word. But if you listen to a lot of J. Cole music versus a lot of, I can't think of who I said off the top of my head. But anyway, some of these other people's music, you hear nothing about, all you hear is about coming up out the hood, doing this, doing that, fucking women, all that stuff. And I was basically saying the same thing. I was like, look, we put this agenda out there. It's like, and more black people come into the music. It's like you start to think that's all there is out there for black people to do is sell drugs, live a life of crime and stuff like that, and hopefully they can make it by rap music. And I was kind of saying the same thing, basically what y'all saying about the movies. It's like, and that, but before I continue, I gotta agree with you, man. I said this 100 times. I even said this to my wife. I got kind of tired of Tyler Perry, because that's all it is. That's all it is. A black woman gets done wrong. She ends up getting revenge on him at his weakest point. When he's down and out, that's when she want to kick him in the ass, beat him up, and say she got revenge on him, and then want to divorce and leave him. That's all his movies, basically. That's all his movies. Whatever happened to saying, okay, you know, he did me wrong. Fuck, I'm finna leave him. I'm finna show him I don't need him. I become successful. All that type of shit. Yeah. But the only thing in their mind is you gotta kick him in his ass when he's down. God, you know, it's like, really? If you watch 90% of his movies, is like that. Yeah. You know, it's like, come on. It's like, give me a break. But anyway, but I was always saying that when you listen to our music, especially young black music these days, but then go back to black music back in the day. It was all about having fun. It was all about, you know what I'm saying, trying to, like that song go now, they living your best life. Yeah. It wasn't about coming up in a struggle to have to sell this dope and shit like that, you know. And excuse me. And one guy always asked me why I would listen to Scarface, and I told him, I said, because it's more realistic what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody grew up selling drugs, and I'm not saying these rappers did or didn't. I don't know and don't care, but it seems like that's all these rappers talk about is selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Coming up out the hood and stuff. It's like you're giving us one-track mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're saying this is the only way for black people to do things.
Yeah.
When there's more out there, more different way for us to do stuff. Excuse me. You know, there's always a different avenue, but you're limiting our train of thought to just this one thing. And I don't think that's the way to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And another thing here is, God damn, this truck tailgating me. What the fuck, dude? Sorry, that's my filter. This damn truck was tailgating me big time.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn that sorry, but sorry about that. Anyway.
Get him up off you. Get him up off you.
I'm about to slam on my brakes, shit, so he can hit me. I get paid, shit. Nah, but now I lost my train of thought now.
Yeah, we talking about the rappers and everybody selling drugs and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of like what y'all was saying. It's like you're giving us only a one-track mind. But I was thinking the same thing, but it's just in a different way. I was thinking the same thing like in music. It's like this is the only thing, you know what I'm saying, that if you listen to it, that's all it is. Women talking about shaking their ass out of a strip club, you know what I'm saying, now becoming rich and famous. Men talking about selling dope, now becoming rich and famous, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, whatever happened to those that went to school, got an education, did this and did that? There's only a few people that talks about that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can come up without selling drugs, and you can come up without shaking your ass. So, you know, I just find that to be so strange and so weird. Yeah, and I'm gonna end my call on this here. Damn, I forgot his name. You just said it. I think you said Mark Davis or whatever that guy name on YouTube that always agreeing with everything women say. What's his name again?
Derek Jackson.
Derek Jackson. I don't know where I get more Davis from. Derek Jackson. I watched one of his videos, and I was like, seriously? And it was a bunch of women in his chat or whatever, that was like, yeah, see, these men do us wrong, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. I'm like, do you always want people to just agree with you? Mm-hmm. Or do you want someone to give you some food for thought? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, because my wife was watching it with me, and I told my wife, I say, now listen to this. You want somebody to lie to you all the damn time, but you're quick to say you hate it when people lie to you. But you want this man to lie to you. Mm-hmm. So you can feel good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, and I'm like, I said this here. If I did something wrong, you would tell me right off the bat that I did this and I did this, and you have your opinion about it, and that's fine. That's what it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. But why is it not like that on the other foot? Now, I'm not saying every single female, because I know there's women in the chat that's finna go off, but I'm not saying every single female. But if you watch it, he will tell you. He will sit there and agree with you. One of them, he was saying, yeah, ladies, if he ain't making at least $100,000 a year, you don't need to be with him. Shit like that. I'm like, really? I was like, really?
Which is super funny, because then you go back into it. You know, all black people are poor and struggling, because it'll be the same people who say, oh, yeah, that's right. Then they'll turn around and, you know, with all the oppression and everything else. And so if you just have those two mindsets together, that don't even make any sense. So it's just, and if you ain't bringing nothing to the table and you expecting somebody to be making $100,000 to have interest in you, they gonna fool with somebody that they gonna get a benefit out of, or somebody that's a little bit, you know, better. I mean, you got, sometimes you can price yourself out, if for lack of a better term, but. You know, yeah, people don't think. People just like to hear shit that makes them feel good, and it sounds good, and then when it doesn't happen, they actually fall deeper into depression.
Yeah.
And then they upset about it. Then they're going to be mad at Derek Jackson.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I told my wife. I was like, so you listen to people like this, like Derek Jackson, you'll listen to him, and then when the shit don't go the way you want it to, then you're going to turn around and get mad at men all over again. When it's really, and I said this, I said, my mom taught me and my siblings growing up, what is the common denominator in all these situations? It's you. So when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's your fault. It's not everybody else's fault.
Yes.
It's your fault.
Yes.
But I just wanted to end it on that because I saw one of his videos, Derek Jackson, talking about, yeah, ladies, if you ain't making at least $100,000 a year, you don't need to be with it. He needs to step his money game up. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn, dude. Whatever happened to everybody getting out there making a hard, honest living for themselves? Instead of talking about he has to do this, what do she have to do? But anyway, man, I'm going to end my call on that, man. I was just saying that I basically agree with y'all, with you and Rashida was talking about. It's just that I was agreeing with it. Instead of movies, I agree with it in the music because it's basically the same thing. You're keeping us at a one-track mind when there's really other ways to go about doing things.
I agree.
But like I said, but I think I'll get in here, man. I gotta get to work, man. I think I'll get up in here, man. I'll holler at y'all.
All right, man. I appreciate the call there, man.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, you too. Phone start blowing up and shit. What do we finna disagree with, Miss Bad Boots? What we gotta disagree with? Someone texted and said, I think the media is pushing this overly effeminate agenda on everyone, but I think blacks for so long have held out and now they want us to accept it. So now almost all portrayals of us will have this to try and condition us to accept it. I do agree. But like I say, look, think about it. Think about it. The most masculine shit, you don't see masculine black men in roles anymore. So again, we could talk about there's a lot of angles we could talk about it, and I see a few of y'all have called in. I don't know if y'all on hold or not. If it is, if you got you on hold, you might want to hang up and call back because for some reason, like I said, I don't see any of the other calls updating. But that's fucking quick. Rudolph accused of slur. He immediately denies slur allegations. Okay. There's that. But I guess that would be the angle to go with. I mean, it could, if you say that, then maybe it is what it is. But again, even if you did use slur, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I get it. But you can't, that's what I'm saying about power. If a motherfucker knows that I can say this one thing and scramble your mind, you can't even think straight because of me using a particular word. Who wins in that situation? You can beat them down, but you have to resort to the physical. If they can use vernacular, use a couple of words and have you discombobulated, dysfunctional, and ready to fight, ready to get your ass taken to jail, ready to get suspended for several games, by using a particular word, who's holding the power in that situation? It's easy to say a word. It takes a lot more effort to beat somebody's ass. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. But yeah, like I say, I ain't want to get specific on, but I definitely want to get more specific on because Broderick did bring up a good idea about, when you talk about, think about the Broderics of the world. Nah, but the Boyce Watkins, all of them. I think every angle you look at, like, who is, okay, we got a call. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this afternoon?
Hey, what's up, man? It's Honcho. It's Dan, man.
Dan, the man. What's with the plan? What's going on, Dan? Like, how you feeling this afternoon, man?
I'm out here unemployed, bro. I ain't got no job,
Oh, yeah, you acting like Tommy over there, man.
He ain't got no job, man. You already know. No, I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right.
Okay.
Just resolving some situations. Nothing bad. Just setting up, when I get back to Virginia, the whole school thing and everything. It's coming out the way I planned it, which is new to me. Because usually I've been guessing shit for like the past 10, 15 years. So actually trying to plan stuff and it actually goes the way you expect it for the most part. It's a new feeling. So it's good.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. I'm glad everything is going smoothly for you.
So far, so good. We'll play it by ear, But your topic today, the black media agenda, and usually I chime in right before I call when I do call in. I say something which relates to what I'm gonna call in about later if I end up calling. And if you're not a rapper, if you're not gay or trans, like Billy Porter and all these other dudes out here, Tyler Perry, well, that's still in the question. Lee Daniels is clearly gay. He's admitted that.
Yeah.
Jesse Smollett. He's gay and a victim, so there you go. Jesse. It's like, I mean, yeah, shit. Or if you aren't an athlete, you know, I mean, if you're just like a regular, hard-working black person, I remember, you remember the TV show Rock?
Yes, it was a great show.
Yeah, that was a hard-working black man. He made no excuses for nothing. There was some racist stuff he had to deal with. That was in Baltimore. I mean, dog, Rock was an amazing TV show, bro.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
What happened to Rock, bro?
The message was too good. You know, anything that had a solid message in it, you know, it couldn't last too much longer because people responded.
Yeah.
I remember that clip. Somebody just posted that clip in the Den group where he had when old buddy who plays the bad guy in every movie, the one black dude that plays like every. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and he was the drug dealer across the street or whatever, and then Rock ended up punking him. You know, like I said, they don't do that type of stuff no more. You don't have that kind of message anymore.
Yeah, man. I remember him in Menace to Society when Kane beat his ass. And he's about to mail that tape. He's like, nigga, fuck Kane, nigga. Don't no goddamn Kane. I don't give a motherfucker with no Kane. Now, that's a hater right there. That guy deserves at least an Emmy for his lifetime achievement of being a hater, man.
Yeah.
He clipped the power, bro. That dude is the shit, man.
Yeah, they did. No career, right?
Hell yeah, man.
That's fucked up.
But yeah, man, it's an agenda, bro. I saw you had a picture of Don Lemon. Oh, that's a perfect example of, so he's gay, black, and a victim, even though he's a CNN news anchor, you know.
Yes,
so he managed to get 3 in a row.
Yes.
You know, he screamed about racism, but he lives in the most segregated of communities. I promise you that. That dude living on like a penthouse in New York or a gay community outside of New York. I mean, look, these people who claim all this victimhood, this victim mentality, black people are eternally victims. Majority of the time, they're not in these communities that they're supposedly speaking for.
Exactly.
And I've been saying that for a while. A lot of people saying that for a while. You know, you said it, Prepaid said it, a lot of other people said it. It's just this victim mentality it's a detriment to our community. And that's one of the main points of the black media. You're always a victim. Never mind these kids out here, these young black kids out here committing all sorts of felonies. I just saw, this happened a few years ago, and it's once again another story time. There was this one dude, I think his name is James Broadnax. I saw an interview with him on YouTube. This guy killed 2 dudes in Texas, so you already know you're getting a death penalty.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, he's on death row right now. And it was him and one of his idiot cousins. The cousin didn't kill nobody, but the cousin's doing life just for being there. So that's that thing, bro. The company's keep, bro. Yeah. But this dude did an interview. He's talking about, he quoted Lil Wayne in the shit. I popped his bitch ass and fuck their families. He was laughing at the trial. And I looked at the interview he did about 10 years ago, and then look at it now. He's been 10 years death row. Now he's writing letters appealing, saying that his trial wasn't fair. Bro, you went on the news admitting that that you killed him and didn't even flinch. He was laughing about the shit, bro. Yeah. And now you're a victim. You see, that's that whole gangster mentality. I don't.
Yeah, as I say, it's crazy when that reality sets in. You know, it becomes a different perspective.
Oh yeah. Yeah, perspective is you about to ride that lightning, bitch. So, you know, it is what it is. But the thing, that's trying to bring back those 2 people's kids that got murdered by this fucking degenerate. No. It's trying to bring them back. It's just, you know, to appease the conviction that the state set in. That's all it is. No one comes back from the dead when you execute somebody. Hopefully it deters other people, but half the time that don't work. No. So, you know, you can execute as many people as you want. The main thing is the community where it starts. You can get rid of as many drug dealers on the street as you want, but if you don't get these drug traffickers and suppliers, shit ain't gonna change, bro. Yeah. You know, so that's one thing. I think the war on drugs was extremely faulty, but of course the DEA and CIA making deals with cartels. We understand this, you know what I'm saying? But we shouldn't have to keep supporting this bullshit as a community. And here's the thing. So speaking on like the black media agenda. Like, so we know by and large the main black media, you know, CNN, MSNBC, black people are always victims. Never mind them being responsible for their own actions. Never mind, you know, the rate of murders in the community. Never mind the rate of single-parent households in the black community. Never mind none of that. We're always victims. So no one takes responsibility for their actions, and it's just going to get worse. And on like a microcosm, a small level, I noticed like a lot of the I mean, never mind us normal people who, work jobs, go to school, things, so and so, did military, all that stuff. Never mind that. Like, a lot of the people I see in the past that they're like, I don't see these documentaries about these old criminals and stuff like that. Like, Alpo, for starters, that snitch. AZ, Rich Porter, Frank Lucas. Like, you see all these documentaries about these dudes, man. Like, look, man, let them drug dealing motherfuckers die off, okay? That's part of the history needs to die.
Yeah.
Let's bring back the history like, good media, like I'm talking about Rock, stuff like that, and the other shows like that. I mean, shit, Martin Living Single, they were a bunch of like dots out here. They were educated, getting it sisters, all that shit. I like Living Single. Yeah. I used to fuck with that. New York Undercover, Martin, of course. Yeah, this Fox lineup back in the 90s.
Yeah, man, it was solid. Fox was winning back in the day, man.
Yeah, they were the first ones doing it. And of course, those Family Matters. You had like a black cop in Chicago. Yeah. Had his family. I mean, Urkel was like kind of, Urkel was cool too, but he ended up taking up most of the show. I don't know why. Yeah. It is what it is. He was popular, that's why. Some white executives came down and said, okay, well, never mind his family shit. Let's get more Urkel on here. Let's do it. That's how it goes. It's ABC, the people who cover up. Oh, man, I know this is against the, speaking of media, ABC, did you hear the report about that Amy Robach, I believe, the reporter who basically was on live mic, but it wasn't broadcast in public, saying that 3 years ago they had the interview on Jeffrey Epstein's one of his victims, saying names, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, so on and so forth, Alan Dershowitz, and ABC killed the report because the royal family of Britain, decided, hey, you're not going to get any of this great Kate and William footage. Like, who gives a fuck about the royal family? That's the reason you have to kill this interview?
Yeah.
So, look, media in general, black, white, Hispanic, it has an agenda. And for black media, it generally paints its victims. You guys go out here and, trick, or whatever the hell you people do nowadays. I don't know. I'm too old for this shit. But media in general, I mean, ABC had basically just killed the report exposing one of the most prolific child molesters in American history. And there's no excuses. Like, I can't support ABC anymore. I never really did. I mean, there's, back in the day when I watched TV. But Disney owns ABC, so I don't give a fuck about Disney no more. I never really did in the first place. I mean, The Lion King is hard, but I don't give a fuck about that no more. I don't watch none of these Marvel movies. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. I do my own thing, bro. I can't support none of that no more because you guys are shielding child molesters.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for that. No, there is a legitimate excuse. You're probably some of the child molesters are running that network or that your parent company.
Yeah,
that's a legitimate excuse for it.
Yeah, they're riding on the plane with them. I mean, a lot of these people are buddies. But like I said, a lot of these people, the higher up you get, the smaller the circles get, but a lot of these people are in the same circles. And so, some of these people probably have some dirt on themselves or each other that, well, if this story gets, follow the money, or if you follow this story too much, somehow, some way I'm going to be tied into it. And so let me disassociate myself.
Basically, they disassociated Jeffrey Epstein from from life. Yeah. And here's that thing. So they're charging the two security guards who were sleepy or some shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the most ridiculous shit. I mean, they're part of it, I'm sure, but they're probably like. Either they were bribed extremely or they were threatened, like them and their families. It's one or the other. They didn't just fall asleep. There was something else at play here. And if these two guys, and I mean, I don't know if that means two guys, they were identities and everything, but man, they might end up like Jeff, man. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now, if they do, then what happens? Then if they end up no longer with us, and you see that the media still doesn't push forward. That's the people should revolt. I mean, that should let you know everything you need to know that it's a much bigger game. I mean, we already know that with Epstein, it's a much bigger game in play. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these two guards. I found it extremely, extremely interesting that they actually brought charges against somebody. We'll see if they talk or if any. Look, they better figure something out. Figure it out quick. They're gonna end up the same way. Somebody's gonna miss their rounds when it's time to check on them, and then it's gonna be a similar story.
They died falling down a flight of steps with 18 bullet holes in their back. It is what it is. Yeah, but let me get back to the main point. I don't even hold you up too long. So all media has an agenda. I mean, that's why I'm going for more independent media. YouTube has a lot of good independent media. I know there's for the more liberal mindset, they have Tim Pool. But the thing is, I see he's very unbiased because he's going in on Democrats for some of the shit they're pulling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I respect him on that, you know.
Yeah.
But he's definitely still a Democrat. So if you want to go to more liberal bias, you get Tim Pool, and you have a bunch of conservatives. I mean, I didn't know where to start with them dudes. You know, they're everywhere. So
that's
on YouTube especially.
Yeah, that's what I say. You know, and you try to get, like I say, I try to look at a little bit. I look a little bit at Tim. I look at some other characters. And again, like I said, there's nobody I'm just 100% in consensus with. But I mean, it's interesting to get some unfiltered perspectives because the news, you know, again, they have agendas. The news is to keep you fearful, intimidated, and hoping for answers that they never give you. But hey, buy this fucking soap, buy this shit from these ads, you know, so we can continue selling, you know, ad space and continue to make money. But we're not going to give you anything useful.
You damn right. Damn right, bro. But yeah, black media, man, if you ain't talking about trapping and rapping, and if you're a freak of nature, what was that one song? Ninth Wonder? What was it? Little Brother. Yeah, if you ain't trapping and rapping, you're a freak of nature, basically. That's what it is, man. It's like you got to be out here. I mean, what is the excuse to stop with black people? Like, I still don't know where it went wrong for us, but it did go wrong somewhere, and I will stand by that opinion.
I think, like I said, at this point, I think it's just, you know, I want to, like I was saying, you want to go back and try to, maybe we can make this. I don't think there's any mass movement happening. I think it's just the only way that things are going to get fixed is people are going to take the individual approach. I don't know exactly, like you said, where it went wrong, and I think at this point it's irrelevant almost. You just got to fix yourself, take care of yourself, and hope that, you know, other people follow suit or try to only associate with people who of like mind. Because I think it's a wrap. I really do. I really think it's a wrap for everybody.
I've been trying to say that, man, but I'm Uncle Tom house nigger, race trading coon. And if you ever read Uncle Tom's Cabin, Uncle Tom is actually the most decent person. And he actually, you know, his thing about Uncle Tom. So he died getting beaten by his slave master protecting 2 runaway slave females. He was the original dude that didn't snitch. He didn't snitch on them. Yeah. So he's the realest nigga in history right there. If y'all talking about being a real nigga and shit, since that's what they like saying, keep it real, all this other stuff, you know. I say it too. But I mean real as in reality, being realistic. Not real as in buying into a stereotype which sells records and all this other dumb shit. That's what I mean by keeping it real.
But isn't that it? I mean, like, but what you just said, I mean, and I don't know if people really caught it, but like you said, you know, the keeping it real that they always tell you is buying into the stereotype. The Uncle Tom is been misconstrued. But think about how it is nowadays, because like I said, I'm a big fan of, and it's because I kind of got to understand what he was about. Like I talk about Jason Whitlock all the time on Speak for Yourself. And I made a comparison of Jason Whitlock and Shannon Sharpe. And I did a little poll on my sports channel. And everybody, it was overwhelmingly Shannon Sharpe over Jason Whitlock. Although Shannon Sharpe is an employee of the show that he's on, Jason Whitlock runs the show. He produces the show that he's on. He hires, he has over, I think it's like 60% something black employees. He gives people chances, and he started some of these other, I think was the Undefeated or something, whatever, some of these other things at ESPN. They ended up kicking him off because he didn't have the right views. But you never see him on there. You know, you ask anybody, oh, he's a coon, you know, he's a Uncle Tom, he's a this, he's a that. But yet Shannon Sharpe is the motherfucker coming on here with the do-rags on and the Black and Miles with the Miles and Hennessy and playing these characters with the like, to me, Shannon Sharpe is the one shucking and jiving. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the one playing these stereotypes. You ain't never seen Shannon Sharpe do that? You know, I'm gonna give me some Miles and some yak. You know, I'm gonna smoke me a Black and Mild and drink me some yak. And they made a whole little song about it and all that stuff. And like I said, he'll come on with his little do-rag. Like, to me, if anybody is cooning, it's Shannon Sharpe. You know what I'm saying? And this is not to say that I don't like Shannon Sharpe or anything like that, but I would like to say just making a comparison. And to me, it's perspective. And so if you're telling people what they want to hear, you're A-OK. But Jason Whitlock talks more about taking accountability and certain things that he sees. You know, he's much more conservative, and he's, you know, family-based type dude. Him and Marcellus White Olive, you know, so they're Uncle Toms, they're coons. You know, it's always a negative stereotype on them. And I'm just laughing because, you know, like you said, Uncle Tom was the good guy, but yet in history, when somebody tells you, "Oh, you're Uncle Tom," it's a negative connotation to that. Same thing with these guys. These dudes are talking about the right thing, the family, the structure, and, you know, how this is beneficial. Oh, your Uncle Tom, you're back. It's that perspective, and how much of this is being twisted by black people themselves. You know, instead of really looking into stuff, it's just stereotypes and rhetoric. It is crazy, man. So
that's insane. I didn't even know Shannon Sharp was out here buck dancing like that, bro.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying, Debo. It's Skip's show. It's not Shannon's show. But speak for yourself. It's Jason Whitlock's show. He controls who's on there. So that's what I'm saying. Is like Skip. I mean, Shannon Sharp is an employee. He don't run shit on that show. Jason Whitlock is a boss. You know what I'm saying? So you can salute the employee or you salute the boss, and that's what I'm saying. Like getting things misconstrued. I want boss status. I don't want the employee status. I fuck with Jason Whitlock. And if you really go back and like I said, y'all have to go. Don't take him for what he says in his sports takes. It's an interview he did with Curtis Schoon. If you can find it, I mean, it's not hard to find. And if you really find out about his history and what he did, a lot of people don't like him because of what he said. Man, that boy has been putting people on everywhere he goes. He's been putting people on and hiring and employing, especially black people. Shannon Sharp can't say that. Shannon Sharp don't get no say so. You know, he can't hire nobody. Just like Dame Dash told them people when they was at Breakfast Club. He's like, "Did y'all get to can you give your son a job here?" No, you can't because you don't run nothing here, and that's the thing. But they were mad about that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Wow. You know what? I'm glad you mentioned the Breakfast Club because I can't fuck with them no more either.
Yeah,
especially Charlamagne, bro.
Yeah, I think after Dame was the last interview I think I saw with them.
I can't, man. Now, when it first came out, they were going against 105 and all that, or whoever they're going against. I forgot. But, you know, DJ, Mr. C, and Funkmaster Flex, them dudes is lames, right?
Yeah.
But then you got Charlamagne out here co-signing candidates. And oh god, I can't even tell you. I'm not even gonna hold up the line about Charlamagne and DJ Envy and Angela Yee. I mean, they're whatever. It's just Charlamagne I have issues with now. And I used to fuck with him heavy when that show first came out a few years ago, when they were first getting popularity. But he said it himself a few years ago. This is what happens when they were going at Mr. C and Funkmaster Flex's neck. They said this is the eventuality of power. It rises and falls. So this is their fall now. If you look at like how they fight now, and how Gucci smashed Angela Yee, and Charlamagne interviewed him, and Angela Yee's mad, and DJ Envy cheating on his wife, but mad when other people talk about it, all this other goofy shit. And Charlamagne, he's playing basically like I support all this other stuff, da 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 da. But we've seen you on here talking funny about people that you supposedly support now, gay people, things like that. So I mean, it's more that Democrat hypocrisy right there. So he's just playing that to, you know, he said himself he's trying to sell out, which I'm cool with him selling out, bro. But he's making himself look like a fool in the long run, I think.
Yeah, I've never been a big Charlamagne fan. Like I said, but that's what happens. Like I said, you know, once you get to power, especially when it's a group dynamic. Think about every major group. Once there's a lot of power involved, you know, people start thinking they're the ones that hold more weight. You know, he may think he's the man because of Donkey of the Day, or Angela Yee may think she's doing Envy. Obviously thinks he's the guy. And I think he has the perfect name because he seems to be jealous of everybody. And so, like I say, then once they're all at this point of power, you're like, oh, I don't really need them. I don't need, but yeah, we have to work together. And that's why Charlamagne's kind of doing his own thing. Yee has her own little thing. Envy kind of has whatever the fuck he does. And so it's just like, man, like eventually that whole thing's gonna crumble, and there's gonna be somebody's gonna write a book. It'll probably be Charlamagne first because he likes to capitalize on the gossipy shit, and you know, it's gonna dissipate real soon. You know what I'm saying?
It's more of a victim mentality bullshit, bro. I mean, I'm not a victim.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not.
Exactly.
If anything, I've been a victim of my own actions.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just that responsibility thing. Now, and this is my last thing. So I understand that black people have had a fucking shitty hand in this country, more than most people. But why is it that people who just get off the boat, and not just Asians and Hispanics, I mean the Hispanics that actually come here legally and want to work, not these you know, other types. There's people from Nigeria, Trinidad, Haiti, and I met a lot in the military. They come here rocking and rolling, bro. Like I think one of the most highest paid ethnicities, like in terms of like education and the jobs they get, are Nigerians.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're getting like 60, 80K.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 60, 80K on average. Not to mention the ones that got doctorates and things like that. They just got here. We've been here, over what, 300-400 years? I don't know the math, so you know, forgive me if I'm wrong. All you pro-blacks and listening right now. How come they just got here? They rocking and rolling. We've been here. A lot of the rules, like the affirmative action, was set up for us.
Yeah.
But a lot of us, like, I don't get that.
No.
I don't get that.
Man, it's the focus. It's what they're focused on. Like I say, a lot of us are focused on what's going to hold us back and why we can't succeed. They come over here, especially from a place that may not have the same level of opportunity, and they're like, man, shit, this is the land of plenty. I have options.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they come in here with an attack mindset. They're trying to attack the shit, and we're trying to deflect some things. And that's as a whole, like as a community. I'm not saying us individually, everybody has their own thing, but as a group, there, it's more about what's everything. We're focused on what's wrong. They're focused on what's right.
Man, yeah, like me and you're in agreement, sir. I mean, I don't think it's gonna end out well. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. That's been my thing. I'm negative as fuck, but please correct me. Please tell me I'm wrong. Please give me proof that I'm wrong, because I'm going by stats, bro. That's what I'm doing. But that's all I gotta say, Honcho. I'm sure that angers people in the afternoon. I can't believe that motherfucker said that shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, you ruin the rest of their day, Dan. God damn, it's all good.
Nah, man, but then, man, y'all take it easy, man. Listen, I'm out here unemployed, baby, just living it up, man.
Living your best life. Shout out to Dan, the man. I appreciate you calling in this afternoon, Dan.
Hey, thanks a lot, Honcho. You have a good day, sir.
All right, you too. Appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
All right. All right. We'll probably take one more call and then get ready to wind it down after that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the math is also racist. Savage Donald Trump statistics are a part of math, so that is pure racism. So again, it is craziness, man. And I agree that we don't have a plan. When, like I said, a lot of us don't have plans, and that's the thing. I think when you come from a place where you don't have those opportunities, where you don't see those chances, that you realize, man, I can come over, I can do whatever. And I know a lot of people talk about Africa and going back to Africa and all those. Man, you realize, like, and this is what y'all got to realize. We can talk about racism, we can talk about all these things. I'm not gonna sit here and say racism is dead. There are individuals who still, perpetuate it. But when you don't talk about law enforcement and stuff like that, do you realize, like, Africa has some of the fucking most crooked cops in the world? Like, I be on what do they call it, Nigerian and Kenyan areas, and that's all they talk about, the fucking police and how bad they are. How you gotta bribe them and fucking pay them off at every fucking turn, every fucking corner, like how terrible they are. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think that's just a thing that comes with power. And when you have a level of power, you're gonna take advantage of those that you perceive to have less power. Now, again, certain issues that get pushed, I think, you gotta understand, like, everything is marketing. Everything is branding. And what I mean by that is you're selling yourself every day. And I'm not talking about like prostitutes or non-prostitutes. We're not going to go back to Tuesday and have that discussion. But what I'm saying is, exactly. Man, I saw a fucking African get burned in the middle of the street, like literally lit on fire in the middle of the street. Wasn't by any kind of law enforcement. And people just standing there watching that shit. Like, motherfucker, like, was burning until they fucking passed out. Like, I don't know if they passed out or they clocked out, but nobody put them out. I mean, they just sat there and watched that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me. Niggas talk about all that shit. You got it easy over here. The opportunities are abundant, and you just got to take advantage of the shit. And when you sit and focus on all the negativity, then you're gonna get it. That is what it is. But my thing is, it's just like, I kind of lost my train of thought, I ain't gonna lie. But it's just like, yeah, they come here, they have a plan. We come in, we come out, we complain. Focusing on the law enforcement thing, and it's just power, no matter who it is. Like I say, if we talk about certain shit. If you let people independently run their own neighborhoods, so I talk about more black people getting in law enforcement, and I think that it would fare better if people from particular neighborhoods, if you're from that neighborhood, if you patrol that neighborhood, right? Because I think that situation will work out a little bit more fair for those who are involved. But I'll take this last call real quick and I'll finish that up. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
I can't believe you two niggas.
The racism. What's going on? Hold on, is it Jay Dizzle or Professor Trill that we dealing with right now?
Oh, this is Jay Dizzle right now.
Okay, that
It was
nigga.
Professor Trill for 90. See, Dan got the same disease that Broderick got. It's like when you two niggas call in, y'all start off real good, and then y'all get comfortable toward the end, and then you just say some dumb shit. And then Honcho, you co-sign the dumb shit. Bruh, how can you compare a motherfucker coming to America now compared to motherfuckers being brought to America when it was first conceived?
But it's not. That's not the comparison, though. That's not the comparison that's being made. The comparison is the person here now and the person coming now.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
He said, well, how come we had a 400-year head start and we so far behind? It's because it's 400 years later, dumbass. They didn't have the opportunities back then that we do now.
Okay.
So they coming in starting at a much higher rate than where we started from.
How so?
Not to say that I'm making an excuse for us not to be past that. I'm not making that excuse. But the way that you said it and the way that you phrased it makes zero sense. You can't call somebody that came here as an indentured servant compared to somebody that came here as an immigrant. That's not the same damn thing.
Okay. But how do you compare the people who have been here who were never in slavery, the people now, the modern
I
day?
done already said this shit.
But
niggas,
it's just
niggas. Americans are lazy, Honcho.
Okay.
Period.
So is that?
Motherfuckers don't want to work. They just want to get money for doing nothing. That's across the board.
So that's the bigger
not
issue,
just a
right?
Black problem. That's an American problem.
Okay.
Hell yeah, that's a big issue.
Okay.
And then the motherfuckers that do want to do the work, y'all want to build the wall and keep them out.
False. Fake news.
I don't know how you figure that's fake news, Honcho. You know well as I do. You live in the same area I live in.
I don't know about
You done
that.
worked in them plants and on construction before. You know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, you know, look. I got a few different thoughts on that, but
Correct.
So
We don't even need to go into detail on that. We know what's up.
So, but here's my thing though, and I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like I said, it's just at this point though, where excuse me, where is it the onus on the black people to start taking control of the opportunities that are at hand and stop saying, okay, yeah, you know, like you said, yeah, it was a 400-year lag or whatever you want to. Where's it the point to say, hey, when do you start looking, you know, instead of looking behind you, start looking to your left and to your right, or maybe start looking in front of you and saying, hey, these motherfuckers look just like me, or these people have the same opportunities as me, or these people who were here just like me that have capitalized. When does that attitude in the culture change, or in the black race change, or is it just it is what it is at this point?
It is what it is at this point. Because like you say, the knowledge is out there. Motherfuckers don't want to go look for it. That's just a fact. People don't want to talk about anything that they don't agree with. I don't agree with some things you say. I agree with a lot of things you say, though. But I still listen to you. Even though we may disagree. And that's because I have the capacity to do that. A lot of people don't. They part of that cancel culture. I'm not part of that shit.
No.
I think that shit is ridiculous and it's dumb. You don't learn anything. People just don't understand. You don't learn nothing when you win. You learn more when you lose.
Yeah. I agree.
But everybody all they want to talk about is the wins that they make. Everybody want to talk about the good things and the good times. You learn a lot more from the bad times and shit.
Yeah.
So, but there is a problem with you staying stuck in the bad times all the time. Again, you need that balance. You take the bad shit, learn from it, and apply it to make your times better. That's not that hard of a concept to grasp.
Yeah, I agree. And you would think, though, you know, because there's been a lot of losing throughout these, you know, these years.
See, right there. Let me stop you right there. That the third word you said was think. People don't want to think, bro. People don't think. Everybody leads with their heart instead of their head. That's why you thought we was going to beat the Ravens last week.
We ain't talking about that no more. It's a whole new game tonight. We ain't even on that shit no more. You know, why you bringing up old shit,
That's
man?
why
you know,
still wish Jadavion Clowney was on the rock.
Why you bringing up old shit?
With your heart instead of your head.
Nah, nigga, that's
we all do it, Honcho. We all do it.
Now, see, Jadavion Clowney.
I can't just condemn.
The clown is a head thing because I can pull away the look. I can get some
That's a
benefits.
hard thing.
I get benefits. If Clowney was still in Houston, I could squeeze out some benefits. I could milk that to my opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm
Okay,
saying.
well maybe looking at it from that perspective, you would be correct.
No.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
No, but I feel you know.
Just like Mike, the education system is failing us. The parents are failing the children, and so the children growing up with a failed childhood because motherfuckers either trying to fuck them or take advantage of them. So they don't never learn what they need to know, and the next thing you know, they find sex, and then they like, oh, well, that sounds good. That's what everybody else is doing, so they do it. They have a child, and now this motherfucker start from further back than where their grandparents started from. So, like, now what? You got motherfuckers that don't know nothing, trying to raise children, don't know how to teach them, don't know how to raise them, don't have nobody in their family that knows how to help them, or they refuse to help them for whatever reason or whatever. Then you put the drugs into it. This motherfucker's on this kind of drug. This motherfucker on that kind of drug. His mind ain't right. His mind ain't right. And he think he the smartest nigga in the world when he on them drugs. But when he ain't on them drugs, nigga ain't got no common sense. It's just like, what the fuck? Everybody want to feel good. So that's what everybody's motives is. I want to do what makes me feel good or what makes me happy, which I understand. Everybody likes to feel good and everybody likes to be happy. But that's not what life
Savage
is.
Donald Trump
That's not
donated
what it's
$2
about.
through Super Chat.
It's not about good
I sell
times
crack
all the
for
time.
food,
It don't work that way.
not to buy $200
You may think
sneakers,
that when you
kissing
see
face.
other people and they show their lives and shit, but they not being truthful. They only showing you the good parts. They don't show you the bad parts.
Exactly.
That's like I read this shit. What was it? Yes, I think Willie D was talking about it. Fetty Wap married, I guess, his childhood friend or whatever, and after 4 months, she wanted a divorce because she can't deal with his baby mama.
Wow.
Like, goddamn, bitch, it only been 4 months, and you known the nigga your whole life. So you knew, like, what the fuck? Why would you get married if you knew you couldn't? I mean, you didn't know you couldn't deal with the bitch? I don't understand this shit.
Yeah, that's
People don't want to do nothing that's tough, bro. Everybody want to take the easy way out. Them people coming in from them other countries, they got it way tougher and rougher than we do. What we think is tough and rough ain't shit compared to them people. That's why when they come over here, they more than willing to do that shit that Americans ain't willing to do. Motherfuckers don't want to go out in them fields and pick them fucking fruits and vegetables and shit by hand. Niggas ain't finna do that. Niggas too proud to work at McDonald's. So he'd rather be there sitting on unemployment as long as he can, take a job in the plant, work there 2-3 weeks, then get fired or laid off because either he didn't show up to work or he ain't know what the fuck he was doing or he lied on his application. He got a motherfucking felony, so now he right back from square one. It's like, where do you start?
This is true.
Where do you start?
This is true. You know, and I would find it odd because it's something that I think about often, right? Is as a whole, why niggas ain't more entrepreneurial, and because, you know, selling drugs and all this other shit, that's entrepreneurship to an extent.
No, niggas are, but not in the right aspect to where they will benefit them. Niggas are very entrepreneurial, and then Rashida said, how come niggas create shit all the time, but it has bad motives behind it. It's not created for the right reasons.
So you say there's a negative intention behind the action, and so you have good results. Okay.
And then what happened is somebody else, typically of a different persuasion, picks it up and then finds a way to market it to everybody and make money off of it. Then what we say, oh, he stole that from a black man. Why? Because a black man probably sold it to him because the nigga didn't know what he had.
Yeah, and that's interesting because it was that's what I was saying before I forgot. I was talking about, you know, marketing, the way we brand ourselves, the way you put yourself out there, and how people respond to that. But yeah, and that's another thing too, you know. And as much as, you know, we like to talk about black businesses and things like that, I think that's an area where we can be detrimental to ourselves, because if you focus only on selling to niggas, one, you limiting your market, and you're cutting yourself off from the majority of the country or the majority of the world, depending on what it is you're selling. And so while I think it is a good idea to have black-owned businesses, I don't think it's always the best idea to have black-focused businesses. Because, you know, we talk about it all the time.
agree.
And we talk about customer service. We talk about this. I think there's a lot of layers to it, too, that you have to, there's a lot that black people don't learn you know, they may, like you said, they may have the right idea, and you know, maybe they may put it all together, but it's the detail, you know, how you handle your business, how you handle your books, your customer service, like marketing your product, putting your stuff out there. I think a lot of that is extremely important, man. And you know, when we don't focus on those things, you know, we hinder ourselves in the long term.
I agree with you 100% on that. And plus, the focus now is like you mentioned that TV show Rock.
Yeah.
That dude was, what was he, a janitor or a plumber? I think he was a janitor,
no, he
right?
was a trash dude.
No, he was a garbage man.
Yeah, garbage man.
He was a garbage man. Now, that's not, like, that job don't garner no respect. Motherfuckers will disrespect you because you a garbage man.
They make good money. Legit.
And what makes it worse, and then I'm going to say this, women have a very big problem with that. Or they have their involvement is key because all the women want bosses. They don't want the workers. They don't find them attractive. So niggas who ain't bosses try to present themselves as such because that's what the women want. They don't want nobody that work hard like that. They don't respect a lot of men that work like that. Nah, I can guarantee you, somebody in the chat gonna be like, I do, I respect them. You maybe, but you got to understand, you the minority. And I think that's the biggest issue about the movies and shit that we talk about. Honcho, you know it as well as I do. The reason why the movies that we would like to see don't come out is because people that have our state of mind are in the minority. We're not in the majority. So the people who is producing this shit, they're going to furnish entertainment for the people that are in the majority because they're trying to make the most money as possible. They don't give a shit about the messages. They care about the money. That's what it all matters. And women, I understand it's the same thing for y'all. A lot of you in the den might not listen to a lot of this shit that go out, but most of the women that are out there are in the majority, and that's what they enjoy listening to. So that's what's being pushed to everybody. Now, the only thing what that's not is the gay agenda, because they are definitely in the minority. That's why you know it's something more behind that. Why is that being pushed when it's only servicing less than 1% of the population? It doesn't make sense. And it's being pushed more than anything else. It's everywhere, in everything. You can't even buy something without it having a fucking rainbow on it. It's like, goddamn.
Yeah. And I would say, yeah, for the women, because like you said, there's a couple of them that said, not me, you know. So this is what y'all got to understand. Let me go ahead. Women in the den, let me just give y'all let's paint this with a broad brush for now and all future references. If you're a woman that actually enjoys coming in the den on the regular, you're already in the minority. Just consider yourself in the minority because most women are not very keen on the conversation we have that either I say or that Trill calls in. Prepaid, because some of y'all definitely give flake. Some of y'all still ain't figured out the difference between prepaid and Trill. But most women do not enjoy this conversation. Most women do not would not stick around for this. I've seen a lot of women come and go from the den who start off like it, and then we say one thing and they don't. So if you rock with the den regularly, consider yourself a woman in the minority. You have a different way of thinking. You approach things a little bit different. Now, some of y'all still got some of my old habits. I ain't gonna talk too bad about you, but you know, you're definitely.
Well, we love you anyway.
Exactly. You know
Period.
Yeah. So you know, it is what it is. I just want to clear that out. So now, from now on, we say something. If y'all in the den, y'all already in the special group, and you know, it is what it is. So you know, don't feel like we're taking a shot at you. We're speaking just in generality. But you know, like I said, I agree, and that's the thing, and that won't change, and that's why I say, you know, it's unfortunate, but like I said, even with the movie stuff, the music stuff, it is a business. At the end of the day, the whole goal is to make money. So we're gonna sell you the product that you want, and so that's why I say there is media impact behind it, but ultimately, trust me, these people they pay big money for studies. Again, they study people's habits, like I say, advertising, all these things. So they find out what people want before they just throw something out to the market. They figure out what people want. Same shit goes with the music. There's a science behind. There's a science with the music that basically, I forgot what it is. I forgot what it's called. But they can play a song through this, I won't call it a machine, but it's like a program, and basically they can determine by the sound of the beat and some other, like whether or not that song will become a hit. Like, because I remember I was listening to a thing, they were talking about that. That's what happened with Hey Ya way back in the day. They played it like it was predicted to be
Of Outkast?
yeah, from Outkast. It was predicted to be one of the greatest hits of all time, which in turn it did end up being one of those. But when people started rocking with it, though, it was just they were talking about how people didn't like it before it became a hit, and what it was that it's because even though everything was there for it to be a hit, the sound was so different. It wasn't what people were used to. So people would like change radio stations and do all these other things. Like they had to find ways to selectively play the song a certain way between certain songs and do it in a certain manner to get people used to hearing it because the sound was so unique at the time. And that's why I say like there's a science in everything that goes on. And so the science I'm sure tells you that black people want to continue hearing the same shit. They want the trauma porn, they want the oppression porn or whatever else because that's what sells to them. And so that's why they're going to continue to market it. Yeah. So that's what it is. But come on, man. What else are you getting out of watching somebody get whipped?
I was feeling some type of way when you start talking about that shit. But I had to be honest with myself. Like, the man is right, because I watched Root.
Yeah.
The only reason I watched it was because it had been out for a while. And this was a long time ago. This was probably back in, like, 2003, 2004 when I watched it.
Yeah.
And I had heard so much shit about it. And I watched that shit, and I was so mad at myself because I could have broke a white boy's neck for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, that shit
like I couldn't get that shit out of my head, bro. It took me a while, and I finally got over it. I'm like, I will never subject myself to no shit like that again. I knew what was in it, but you know how like you think you prepared for something until it actually comes, and you like, whoa, shit. Yeah. It ends up affecting you more than you thought it would. Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. Yeah. So no, I do not watch them slave movies. Yeah, I don't watch that shit.
That's what I said. Good luck.
Fucks my whole psyche up.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, and that's the thing, and that's why I say, you gravitate towards that. It impairs your not I want to say your comprehension.
You look at the world differently.
Yeah, and
you start to notice little shit. You start to think, well, what does he mean by that? And shit like it puts you in a fucked up frame of mind. So I agree with that. Now, Mr. Man Up, I want to address something you said because I got asked that too by a Caucasian fella of the younger persuasion. He asked me, man, you curse like a sailor, but I ain't never heard you say the N-word not once. Why don't you say it? I say, because I don't want you to feel like you got the license to say it and I got to fuck you up on the job. That's what I told him.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. And that was the end of it. Never asked me that shit again. And a lot of times I work with a lot of younger brothers, you know what I'm saying? And I always, which, everybody, your skin folk ain't your kinfolk. I try to help them out, you know what I'm saying? Try to take them under the wing, especially if I'm in a, you know what I'm saying, upper position and shit. I try to teach them what I know. And then it's always some shit when you get this young motherfucker, he come in and he just start talking like we in the neighborhood or we at his crib chilling. I'm like, bruh, you can't do that shit on the job, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, what you mean? Fuck them white folks. I'll be like, bro, white folks will keep you paid. No. So why would you try to fucking antagonize this shit? No. While you here? You working for them. No matter how you look at it, especially in what position you in. See, me, I'm in a higher position, so we working side by side. It's a little bit different. But even still, I don't bring that shit here. Yeah. That's not going to benefit you. It's not going to get you where you want to get to. No. Exactly. You here to get a check, so if you want that check to increase, stop talking that bullshit. No. Now look, when me and you were just on our own and we kicking and we chilling by ourselves, say what the fuck you want to. But don't do that shit in front of these people because they're going to get too comfortable and then they're going to say something and then you're going to do them something. Am I right? He was like, you goddamn right. I say, yes, so don't say that shit. Don't let them feel like y'all cool enough to get away with that shit because they're going to take advantage of it. People do that all the time.
Yeah. And like I say, and that's the thing that people do have, understanding the scenario, the situation, or the location in which they're in, when certain things you can cut on and certain things you can cut off. Yeah. So that's definitely. But here's the deal. I know
you can still be a real nigga and be smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know some folks saying that they want to get in and y'all want to call in, and like I said, I'm going to have to wrap it up here real shortly, but we're going to continue this conversation I was saying earlier. We're going to continue this one Saturday night because, like I said, tonight there won't be a DN because we got, Salt Sports, the Texans game tonight. Then tomorrow is Friday, Talking Dirty After Dark. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to talk about y'all niggas when we supposed to be talking dirty. I'm trying to see what these ladies talking about. Nah, I'm fucking with y'all, but I'm serious. But so Saturday night we will continue this conversation. You know what I'm saying? And
Fucking
we
snowing.
will, so that way y'all kind of have a snow. But we'll continue this
Yeah, I'm over
conversation.
here by man up. That was me behind him, by the way. Tell him to get his ass off the goddamn way.
That would be some funny shit. But
It would have been, right?
yeah, that'd have been hilarious. But if we go to, like I said, but we will continue this conversation on Saturday's Den at 10. And so y'all make sure y'all remind me, because y'all know I'll be forgetting shit. But like I say, tomorrow night is Talking Dirty After Dark, so we're gonna stay with the theme on that. And then tonight there will not be a live Den. So if y'all come into the Den talking about I missed it, now y'all know ahead of time this is no Den tonight. So
All right.
but okay. Anything else you want to say before we wrap it up there, Professor? Well, Jay Dizzle. I think you transitioned from Jay Dizzle to Professor Trill along the way. But if you got
Somewhere, yeah. I had to get on y'all ass real quick. The nonsense. But everything else he said, I agree with, bro. He's speaking facts. I ain't got no problem. Me and Dan the Man ain't got no problem. He need to go and find him a job, though. I don't want him to be a statistic like the rest of these niggas.
God damn.
Don't get out the military and turn into a nigga now, Dan. Come on now.
The temptations are out there, man.
But all right, then, Honcho, I'm going to holler.
All right, Trey. Appreciate it, man.
All right.
Already. But here's the deal, man. Like I said, I know some of y'all want to get in, and I hate to do y'all like that, but I got to wrap it up. I got a couple of things I got to take care of. But, like I said, we will continue this conversation on Saturday night. Tomorrow night, we'll be back on the regularly scheduled Den at 10, Talking Dirty After Dark. Got a real interesting theme for tomorrow's Talking Dirty After Dark. So I want y'all, I guess I need to give y'all a heads up now. Because we won't be talking at any other time prior to that point, unless you're already in the Facebook group, and I'll post some things in the Facebook group in relation to this. Now, this is based off of a particular something that somebody said in this group, and they post something in the Facebook group that made me think about this. So, for tomorrow's Talking Dirty After Dark, Den at 10 tomorrow, I want you to think about your favorite adult performer and why. We're going to base it off of that. We're going to go from there. But everything else, like I say, y'all know what it is, man. Make sure you're following the Den on all the proper social medias. Yes, we will have a Sauce pregame show at 6:20, whatever, something like that. I think it's an hour before the game. It's probably about 6, and then drag up a little bit before the game. So 6 o'clock, if you are a Texans fan or you're a Colts fan, we will have the pregame show on Sauce Sports. If you just want to slide in and talk some shit about both teams, do what you do. Everybody's welcome to the Sauce. Savage Donald Trump, man, appreciate the love. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram, Ed Honcho HTX on the Twitters. Make sure you're following. That way you can stay updated, because I generally try to make sure I update and put the the theme, the topic, or anything maybe relating to the show that evening, or some random shit. I'll try to post on there. So if you use Twitter or Instagram, make sure you follow there. Usually if you're on the gram, let me know who you are in the chat, and I'll try to follow back. I will follow back. It's not hard to push the follow button. Because if I don't know who you are, I probably won't. Den Show Live on Facebook. You can go there, like the Facebook page, please, and then you can join the group from there. There's a visit group button if you want to join the Facebook group. Answer the questions. I don't care what you answer. If you say yes or no, just answer the question so I know you ain't some half-dead motherfucker, and I'll give you access to that, because it is a private or closed, whatever this fucking group shit is called. All the links are in the description down below if you need those. I appreciate all of you. Say Friday sounds scary. Yeah, adult performer, adult entertainment performer. So in the industry, if you will, not the music industry. That's terrible. Y'all, yeah, I'm sure that y'all will, the women folk done already got excited and shit. Y'all more excited than the damn men. Look at y'all naming motherfuckers and shit. The men like, oh no, man, look, I might have to sit this one out. But yeah, so make sure that you have that, fellas. Yeah, come on, let's be real. Now here's the thing though. I want y'all not some new, I want y'all to go to your roots on this one. All right, so whoever the first adult performer or whoever was your original favorite, I know some fellas in here, Pinky used to be an OG. She ain't a Pinky anymore. She more like a big toe now, but I want y'all to go back to your roots and think about, when you were first coming across this form of entertainment and what it was about this particular performer who that caught your attention. So, but with that being said, it is an honor, it is a privilege, it is a pleasure. I thank each and every one of y'all for being here this morning, all y'all who can make it to the early den. And we're going to go from there, man. We'll catch y'all tomorrow night at 10. Other than that, I'll be in a Facebook group if you fucking with the sports, soft sports at 6. Trying to produce, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And y'all ain't got to go home. But y'all got to get the fuck up out of here because I'm gone, man.